Cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't going.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking often, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? This is Fish and Frank here at your Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm here with my boy Anthony. What's up, Anthony? How you doing today?
What up, everybody? How's it going, man? It's Wednesday night. It's Rasta management. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
We're gonna get you guys started here today. So, just really quick for those of you that are new to the channel, we want to let you know that on Monday nights we do the overreaction and waiver wire targets. Wednesday tonight we're gonna be doing roster management, buy, sell, trade target show. Fridays we do game by game start sits and live Q&A. There's always live Q&A actually.
Oh yeah.
And then Sunday morning we're doing the actives, inactives, last minute sit start advice, and daily lineups, as well as your just basically getting your lineup straight right before kickoff. For those of you that are not live today with us and watching the show later on, well, you can always check the timestamps later on. We'll have them in the descriptions and the chapters here, so that if you need to brush ahead to a subject that you're interested in and you want to talk about, or at least listen to, you could get there, because we do kind of got along on some of our shows, but those are there to help you guys out. So yeah, and just wanted to let you all know to please do hit that subscribe button, and if you are already subscribed, you want to hit that like button, and thank you for us to exceeding 1,000 subs now. We did put the 1,000 subscription video in the subscription here, in the chat, and it's in the subscription, so the show notes, so that you guys can watch the video, comment on the video to win the ring here. Where's the ring at, Ant?
Oh, see, I'm slow on it. I thought I was doing good there too.
Yeah,
Boom.
there it is. There's the ring. We're giving away for 1,000 subscribers. We got a ring we're giving away to everybody here. So check it out. Check out the video, comment. We're just saying thank you, and one lucky winner is going to be getting a nice ring there. They could sport for their fantasy, seasons here to come. So yeah, we're going to be here. We want to go ahead and pay for some of the bills here. So we got to definitely check out our Trophy Smack people here. Anthony, you want to give us the read on Trophy Smack here?
Oh, I thought you were going to do that one. I was going to do underdog, but you got it.
No. If we want to do the whole read, it's just like the ring we're giving away right here. They have rings, they got belts, they got trophies, and they got the Kirk Cousins chains, the swag, everything you need at TrophySmack.com. You got to check out the variety items, all fully customizable. I mean, they even got snakeskin belts. I'm telling you that it's nice. You got to check it out. So and they even got stuff for basically the losers. I mean, at some point you got to have the Sacco or something there for the loser of your league to kind of humiliate them a little bit, kind of pump them up for next year, because they don't want to be the last place guy anymore anyways. And then we also want to do a whole read here for our underdog fantasy. They're the ones that help us out every year. We start with our Friday night mocks, and that's where you do all your mocking at here with Underdog Fantasy. They do year-long mocks, year-long Best Buy leagues, Best Buy.
Best ball. You got it.
Best ball leagues. And right now they're running tournaments of Best Ball Mania 4, where your winner takes down $3 million for first, and to the weekly best ball drafts, similar to like DFS style. And the ones that I like the most are the pick'ems, the weekly pick'ems, where you go in there and you look at the teams and you pick up the players and higher, lower on who's going to do what on the projections, either rushing, receiving, touchdowns, completions, and even defensive players doing tackles, sacks, ints, and so forth. And you get up to 20 times your money if you get enough of the pickums there. Depending on how many you choose, you could double up your money. Um, they have a 100,000 subscriber giveaway right now, where there was at least 1,000 people that will get $100 for including the feature pick in the contest. And they usually the feature pick is usually somebody that gets you just basically point 0.5, and they will get you the win on that. So if you sign up right now, you usually got to use the get right code, promo code when you sign up. You receive 100% of your deposit match. That makes it your first deposit up to $100, so that they'll match that $100. So you start off with $200. They're just starting to start placing some pick'ems or doing the best ball leagues yearly. And we do a lot of them at the beginning of the season, and even right now, mid-season, they still have some best ball going on. So, but and my favorite is the pick'ems, honestly. So I like that a lot.
Hmm.
So give them check it out if you do want to try it out. Definitely use our code Get Right. Again, so that it supports us and our efforts that we're trying to do over here. The weekly special this week is Bryce Young, higher or lower than point 0.5 total yards. So that's an easy win. So check it out. Take a look at it, and we'll get that over to you guys. Um, so yeah, then,
No,
we're gonna start looking at somebody. Anthony's been putting up the chat here already. We're gonna be starting saying what's up to everybody here. Uh, Take a look at the questions because we are doing that buy sell trade today. So we want to bring up the conversations and see
yeah.
what we got going on here.
Drop
And
your questions in the chat. That's what
yeah,
we do
exactly.
best here.
And add a Get Right or at Rasta or at Frank there. It helps us find the conversations later on. Because once you guys start rolling in here and everybody starts chatting away with themselves or whatever, it makes it easier for us to find your question and get to you sooner. So tonight we're going to start off with the Thursday night preview. Unless you want to go through some questions real quick, or what do you think?
I guess we can hit up the chat real quick. Just give a shout out to the boys. Like you said, I put them up already. We got Calvista in the house saying, "Yo, what's up, fam?" We got Warrior Loft in the house saying, "What up, guys?" We got Smokey the Cat in the house. What's
There we
up,
go.
guys? How's it going? We got the one and only Dim Boys in the house from the Dead Zone Fantasy Show. Make sure you guys go throw them a subscribe. We have the links down in the description for them as well.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you, Dim Boys. Hard day's work today. Got the fam going on, so always great to have you here. He was our very first subscriber, man. Part of our very first mock draft 3 years ago. So always great to see him out here supporting the stream with us and becoming a part of Get Right, man. So really appreciate you, bro. And then we got some guys with some questions in here. So let's get to our first question of the night from Soothing Music. He says, "Is Breece Hall and CeeDee Lamb too much for Tyreek if my other running backs are Rashad White, Bijan, and ETN?" And before you answer that, Frank, I don't know how you're quiet. Like, I think that was the quietest I've ever been on a stream. Like, I think I went like 6 minutes without saying something, and like that was like torture. So I got to make sure I let you talk a little more, man, because that's brutal. I don't know how you've made it this long. Let me just dominate the mic like that, but I appreciate it, man. I love doing this. But go ahead, bro. What you thinking here for Breece Hall and CD for Tyreek if his other running backs are Rashad, Bijan, and ETN?
I think that's a little bit much. I think both of them. Especially CeeDee Lamb has been really taking off the last couple games, and Breece Hall has been coming around, even on the albeit difficult situation that they got going over there in New York. But even their quarterbacks coming around, making an effort. So yeah, I'm not sure if I would do that. I mean, what do you think? That's really close. I mean, Tyreek is number one, right now for sure, right?
Yeah, by
So
like
it's like by
by
a
a
lot,
lot.
right?
So
By like a lot. So it's kind of hard, but like I think I think that's what it's gonna take to get a guy like that. I don't think
right,
anybody's gonna give you away for less than that. That's kind of the thing too. Do
yeah,
you really need to get him though? I mean, it sounds like you're pretty all right.
yeah. Sometimes like people try to just you want to trade too much, almost um to try to get somebody like that. But man, this guy could just literally win you weeks. So you know, CeeDee Lamb, I mean, they have a good schedule kind of coming up as far as, past defenses that they'll be able to play. They get Philly again, which, he just torched. Get a couple other good matchups there. I think Tampa Bay, you guys play. A couple other folks there. I mean, I could just bring up the schedule. I have it like right in front of me. So where are we
Right,
at?
that's a second.
So yeah, you got Giants this week. You got Carolina, which you'll probably just be able to run all over them. Hopefully Pollard, can have a good game there. Washington might be a shootout. Seattle's going to be a shootout. Then you get Philly, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit for the playoffs. Like that's a great schedule for CeeDee Lamb. They're going to have. It's going to be competitive games. They're going to have to throw. They're not just going to be able to, kind of like the Giants, week 2 or whenever it was, or week 1. When you guys just won like 30 something, is like you didn't have to do anything, So for receivers, it's nice to play good competition, guys that aren't just going to completely shut you down, So to me, like if you really want Hill on your team, I don't think it's too much. You do have White, Bijan, Etienne. Obviously, White's been playing a little better. We don't know what's going on with Bijan. Etienne's just RB1. You can just set him and forget him type guy. So if you feel like you really need that difference maker at wide receiver, then I'd say go ahead, and pull the trigger. I mean, I'd personally rather just keep Hall and Lamb. Like you're kind of saying, Frank, I don't think you really need to do that. But if you want some boom in your life, it's nice owning Tyreek Hill. So I can't argue with you on that. So just depends on what your preference is, man. I mean, the dude was at one point on pace for like a 2,300 yard season. So 2,000 probably could be realistic still.
Yeah,
at this point.
I mean,
I don't know what his pace
gonna
is
get
at.
the
I got to
numbers
check it
out
out.
of
But
him,
yeah,
but I don't know if I'd have to crunch it in. I guess, I think it comes down to who's going to have left, right? And like you're saying, it's Rashad White's been coming on good, but Bijan, we're kind of still waiting in the wings. The coach over there is just not doing what he needs to do to get him going. Etienne's been tearing it up, so you'll be starting Etienne and Rashad White with Bijan as your backup right there, and that's kind of where you're going to be standing. Who your wide receivers is really the question I have too. Is who the
yeah. I'd
other
like
wide
to know who else
receivers?
is there.
Yeah, it's
So
we
yeah.
got half of the look, but I mean it's a no for me. I don't know. I just don't see what the point is
Mhm.
for you.
And this is why you guys want to come in and ask your questions early, man. Because like on the first question, we spent like 5 minutes on the first question. It's like the first one of the night.
Yeah,
We got to get warmed
overthinking
up.
it.
We're looking at schedules, kind of get in the groove. So you're not just going to get this, after 2.5 hours. We're just like, start this guy. No, but we don't. We actually take our time, which is why we're here for 2.5 hours, man. Getting your guys' questions, talking this out for you, making sure we're giving you real, advice, not just kind of shooting for the hip and just kind of soothing your ego, so to speak. We like to talk it out and give you our perspective. So yeah, soothing. Let us know what you end up doing there. Keep us posted
I don't
whether you
know
pull the
who the
trigger or
wide
not.
receivers are.
And Frank wants to know who your other wide receivers are. So there you go. We got Warloft in the house saying I got lucky last weekend, man. He's 9-0 still. Nice little flex. Let's go,
Nice.
baby. Warrior Loft 9-0. 5 more to go. So there you go, man. Reel it in. You definitely want to, with the trade deadline coming up, you want to start maybe consolidating that lineup. Increase your starters. Take advantage of those guys that are, having to go through bye weeks, especially week 13. You want to target some guys like that. Remind them, hey, you're gonna have this bye. If you need a must win on that week, maybe take this other guy, and 2 lesser guys for your one guy, and knowing you're gonna kind of have those pieces moving forward. So got to work it a little bit there. We have TH in the house. What's up, man? How's it going?
What up?
Says, how PPR would you trade Keenan and Brees for Chase, Kenneth, and Sharps in redraft? So have PPR, Keenan Allen and Brees Hall for Jamar Chase, Ken Walker, and Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet.
I would do that. That's a good trade right there.
Man, that Kenneth Walker schedule is brutal, man. Coming up, gets San Francisco twice, gets Philly, gets Dallas, and a couple other terrible matchups in there. So that
I like
scares me a
Taysom.
little bit.
I like
You like
Taysom,
who?
but you end up with one guy. You're trading 2 guys for one guy, Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, right?
Right. I mean, it's nice that you're kind of getting the the backup there, especially with Ken Walker dealing with this chest injury right now. But yeah, so you get Washington, the Rams, then it's San Francisco, Dallas, San Francisco, Philly, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and that's the end of your season. You don't even get Arizona in week 18, so that's really tough. I can see what the other guys are doing. I'd have to look at Brees's schedule here. He gets Houston, or so it's Vegas, and he should eat Buffalo, Miami, Atlanta, Houston, Miami in the playoffs, Washington in the playoffs, and Cleveland in the playoffs. So that's a tough championship week for Brees there. And so that's tough. Chase dealing with this back injury right now. I mean, Keenan has no other competition there. He should be getting a ton of targets in competitive games. Oh, that's a really tough one, man. I think I'm keeping Keenan Allen and Brees though.
I'm wondering who has to drop to get the other guy too. Because now you're taking 2 to 1. You know what I mean? It's always the
Right.
opposite.
It's still costing you one other guy too. So yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, I like Chase, but Ken Walker is a little tough. Like, does this guy have like David Montgomery? I'd rather have David Montgomery. He has one of the best playoff schedules.
Yeah, who else does he got?
Yeah,
Dude
let us
just
know who
finished
else
a
you
1
got
for
there.
1.
Yeah, like David Montgomery gets Denver, Minnesota, and then Dallas. But I mean, should be competitive there. So anyway, there we go.
So Warrior lost
Um,
here. He needs help at flex. At
mhm.
flex to start Judy versus the Bills, Douglas versus the Colts, Zay Jones versus the 49ers, JSN versus the Commanders, and Shakir versus Denver.
Just flex one, huh? Ooh,
I take JSN versus the Commanders, or even Shakir versus Denver.
my problem is the Commanders. They're more vulnerable to the deeper passes. JSN's like average depth target is like 3 or 4 yards. Like it's not very high.
Not that high.
I don't like getting all totally nerdy out like that. Like we don't get all nerdy like that here on the show. But this is where my opinions come from. Just so you guys know, I do that on the back end. Zay Jones to me is not an option, not because he's going against the Niners. He's just too banged up right now with that knee. They were just talking about he could be a candidate for IR, but then came back with a limited practice today, wearing a brace on that right knee. Douglas still not sold on Mac Jones more so. He had a decent, I think, scored like 10 PPR points last week. Judy finally had a little breakout game coming off a bye week against the Bills, so it should be hopefully a shootout there. So I think I'm leaning that way, either Judy or Shakir. I'm targeting somebody in that game. I think it's a higher over under than these other two games. It just kind of depends, which way you go. I think I'd go Judy just because he's probably the second in line for targets over there, maybe behind only Sutton. Maybe they're building off what they did last week a little bit. Shakir's been nice as well, but I can't quite trust him as a flex yet if, considering you have these other options. So I would take my chances with Judy. So I know it was a long way to get there. That was a lot of guys I had to process. So I'm going to go
Think
Judy
about.
against the Bills. Yeah,
I'll
that
stick with
secondary is
JSN.
banged up. Yeah, so you're still going JSN. So there we go.
He's
We got
coming
Ron in the
around.
house.
He's coming around, dude. He's doing some things.
Yeah, still not quite ready. I'd rather take the guys getting number. He still has 2 people ahead of him in targets, but that's okay. It's a nice matchup. So, Ron in the house saying what's up. Ron saying what's up to Smokey. How's it going, man? Warrior saying I like Keenan and Brees. No one to really compete with Keenan for targets. And Beer every is a better talent than Walker. I think he's saying Brees. So
Yeah, he's better shot than Walker.
and so Smokey saying what's up. He said just my opinion over here. Smokey saying Bijan and Najee to get Amon Ra.
I would do that. To get Amon
Bijan
Ra.
should get Amon Ra by himself. You shouldn't have to add Najee, but I probably wouldn't let Najee be the make or break. But that's a lot of running back depth you're giving away to not get a running back in return. So can you get like Jalen Warren type, Zach Charbonnet, somebody? Like, can you get somebody, James Cook, even like a Jamal Williams? Like I want somebody else with that side, another running back to go with Amon Ra. He could be below Najee, obviously below Bijan. But I think Amon Ra, outscores Bijan in half and full PPR the rest of the way. So, and they basically got drafted within 6 or 7 picks from each other. So I don't think it's like too bad of a loss if we're even considering draft capital still at this point.
I don't know, man. I'm still wait to see it. Bijan started off on fire with the first 2 games, and then has just nosedived since then. And I don't think that coach is helping him any, and I don't think it's going to happen until the coach leaves there. So I've lost a lot of confidence in him. I think we were waiting to see this next game against Arizona to be the game that kind of like makes him stand out, or you got to move from that guy. Um, because he's not, to me, he's not doing anywhere near what he needed to be doing. So I'm
Yeah,
willing to move on him
definitely
if I can
considered
get
a
on.
bust.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm able to get, I'm on Raw for him and the other guy, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to
Yeah.
do that.
But see, like Ron said though, Bijan's worth more than say Brown on his own. Like he should be able to get it done
He
just
should have been,
with
dude. He should have been,
Bijan.
but he's a bust, dude.
Yeah, like now you might have to pay that Najee talk, but I
Yeah.
mean I'm sure if you just if he countered with that and you just sent it, or maybe he offered and you just countered, no, I'll give you Bijan for Amon straight up. I think that dude thinks on it and probably hits accept. I mean, Najee shouldn't make or break the trade either way, but like he said, he is kind of starting to wake up now, and it's just good to have that type of depth, at this point. Um, here later in the season. So there we
Yeah,
go.
dude's gonna be going down every week. We'll get to the
Right.
injury news and notes later. So there's
Absolutely.
plenty of those
Absolutely.
going on.
For sure. Plenty of that. And nothing's changing anytime soon.
Yeah.
We got Calvista saying he has Warren, Spears, Gibson, and Algier on waivers. He has Kamara and Taylor going on by, and Jacobs has his only running back at the moment. Who should he swoop up of the four for week 11? So kind of like a beat the waiver wire here. So you have Warren in Pittsburgh going up the Cleveland Browns, so probably staying away from that. Although, if Warren could be more the passing game guy, then maybe there's an opportunity there because you're not really running against the Browns. You have Spears going against Jacksonville. Maybe he gets work there. I want to see kind of what this split is like. Now that they have Levis in here, you have the Commanders going up against the Giants with Antonio Gibson. He's more the passing back. Usually, when they're behind in a game, is where he has his better games. Going up against the Giants in a positive game script should probably be Brian Robinson having the bigger day there.
Yeah.
But Gibson
I
could
don't
always
think they're
sneak in
gonna
a
be
touchdown
behind.
there, right? And then you have Tyler Algier with Atlanta. And Atlanta's on a bye week 11. So he was probably going to be my answer, but considering he's not playing week 11, he can't be an option. So given the landscape, I think your best bet might be Gibson. I'd rank it Gibson, Warren, Spears. I mean, you could maybe flip flop Spears and Warren just depending on what the usage is. This week I know
I'd say
Spears
Warren,
outsnapped
Gibson,
Derrick
Spears.
Henry as far as snaps go, but we all know that's a little deceiving. Like he was on the field, but he wasn't getting the ball when he was on the field. When Henry was on the field, even if it was less, when he was on the field, he was basically getting the ball. So as an older back, they're just kind of taking some wear and tear off him, not using him in pointless situations. So, and I like his passing game involvement there with Henry. So, yeah, I think I'm Gibson, Warren, and then Spears.
I flip Warren and Gibson. I like Warren still
Okay,
better.
you like Warren against that Cleveland Browns matchup
I
with
think
them
you get lucky,
possibly
man.
not being able to run. Yeah, where
Yeah.
they just have to kind of use
Pass the
him as
ball a
the
little bit.
extension of
Yeah,
the run game there.
exactly.
There you go. Good stuff. All right, so there we go. Ron has it kind of back. He has a mix between us. He's Warren, Spears, Gibson.
So everybody got
So yeah,
your left.
absolutely. So Dylan Finnick's in here. I think it's Finnick. Who are some good buy lows? I was thinking of Bijan maybe. Also Stroud. Is Stroud a solid rest of the season, or is it worth trying to go sell high and trade for a top 5 QB? He's had his bye week, which is nice though. Too. So
And then he threw on his team after that. It says who are some buy lows, and he's thinking about Bijan maybe, right? So,
mhm.
and he's asking about CJ Stroud because it looks like he has CJ Stroud right there, 12 team full PPR. He's got Stroud, Dobbs, running backs are Pollard, Mixon, Cook, and Herbert, and Hunt. Now he's got Spears as well, so he's got quite a running back room there. Then he's got wide receivers of Diggs, Ayuk, Hollywood, uh, Michael Thomas, and Downs, and Andrews and McBride at tight end. I feel like there's a lot of depth maybe too much. Any moves making? I don't know. I like it. I like the depth. You need the depth, especially nowadays.
Hmm.
I like the fact
Um,
that you picked up Dobbs as a backup there, and even if he just got traded over there to Minnesota, but I like what spot he's in. I like the fact that he just showed up and flung it out there and was able to get some points just on a spot start off the bench. The dude wasn't
yeah.
even ready yet. You know what I mean?
And
Like
he's
that
gonna
was a
get JJ coming back soon. Like, look what he did
positive
with
signs.
he was
Yeah,
QB4 overall, not even playing a full game without Justin Jefferson. Like, not even close to having the best wide receiver in the game, and how much attention that's gonna draw. Like, just imagine how that's gonna work. So the only drawback you could say is maybe he doesn't have the rushing upside because you can't really play man against Justin Jefferson or else he'll destroy you. Like, you can't really do that. But anyway, so let's answer his first part of the question. So
over him, I'd
some buy
maybe
lows.
move to get some wide receivers. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
and one of those wide
Devontae Adams.
receivers. Yeah, and that's where I was going to go with it. Devontae Adams, maybe somebody like T. Higgins. If you believe it, maybe Calvin
Yep.
Ridley. These are guys we're going to talk about here later in the show in our buy, sell, hold segment. Maybe someone like Chris Olave, like his schedule, playing in a dome, all but one of the games. I think Tampa Bay Week 17 is his first outdoor game, and it's going to be Tampa Bay, so it's not like it's going to be like a snow game or anything. Maybe rainy, but which is kind of sometimes worse than the snow. But yeah, so like I think those might be kind of the type of guys you can get. Devonta Smith, I don't know if that's really necessarily like a trade up. You kind of already have several Devonta Smiths on that team. But if you can, take your chances maybe on a Cooper Cup, Puka Nakua, maybe someone like that, just to kind of switch some things up, at the wide receiver position. But I'm definitely not selling Diggs or Ayuk. I'd be looking to package Hollywood, Mike Thomas. Maybe you could do like Mike Thomas and Hollywood for Olave and some other piece, or Hollywood and Downs for somebody else. I mean, I don't mind keeping Downs. Kind of had a bad week this week, with starting the game and then having to leave with that knee injury. He may be down for another week, maybe two. But I've kind of like what I've seen out of him there. But yeah, if I can get one of those type of wide receivers, that's where I'd be shooting for. What do you think about running back? He has obviously Herbert coming back. If you can put Cook and Herbert together and get someone maybe like I doubt you'll get Tony Pollard. You're probably not going to get much for that combo. Nobody really has running backs they're really able to sell right now.
Yeah, no, I like who he has, and I think he's got to stick with the running back depth that he does have. Hunt
Yeah,
doing
Pollard
all
Mixon
right.
is good.
He's coming back with. He just had a good, decent game again. I think he'll be back uh, to basically starting position. Um, Jared Cook's the one's going like regressing. I think over there at the Bills.
Yeah,
Um,
James Cook. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, James
and
Cook,
they
not
just
Jared
signed
Cook, James
Fournette, so
Cook.
we have to see what happens there. So yeah,
Yeah,
so a lot of kind of question marks there. So yeah, if you can maybe package Cook with somebody else, but like I don't have a problem with Pollard and Mixon, and those are kind of some of the two buy low kind of targets right now. Obviously, you own them. Um, I don't know if you can necessarily trade up. Like I don't think anyone's going to trade you Brees for Cook and Herbert. Um, I just don't think like maybe Aaron Jones you can get for like Cook and Herbert if someone's really down on Aaron Jones right now, but he kind of had a bounce back game this last week. I think the buy low window for Josh Jacobs is done. I don't think you can get Henry for that either at this point. Maybe DeAndre Swift, maybe, considering he hasn't really had that great of a last couple games, but I don't know. Couple opportunities there. We have to see.
Oh, soothing
Um,
music came through here. I have Thielen and DJ Moore. I said I was considering, but I don't know what to say because I was offered it. Oh,
so
so
he
he
was
was
offered
offered
that
the
trade.
trade, but he's got Thielen and DJ Moore.
See, that's when I would just counter. So if you got offered the trade, so don't
Yeah,
counter
counter.
it. Leave that trade there if you're
Yeah,
kind of considering it.
start a
Create a
new one.
whole new separate trade and just offer him Brees for I'm sorry. Oh no, I was thinking this was the Bijan. This is Brees and
CD
CD
Lamb,
for
Brees Hall,
Tyreek.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's the one that we were like, yeah, that's tough.
and he was offered
Um,
that.
I would try to see if you could put Bijan in CD Lamb with Tyreek. I think I'd feel a little more comfortable with that. But I don't know, they're
Yeah,
kind of almost the same right now.
yeah, no, no, no. Good Bijan.
Yeah, so maybe try it counter, not
Bijan
counter,
and
but
CD. Yeah.
yeah, just see if
Start
you
a
would
new
take
one.
Bijan and
And then
CD
give him
for
Bijan and CD
Tyreek.
for Tyreek. If you got that, then I think that would be way better. That way you can
Yeah,
keep
and you have
Brees
Hall,
Hall.
ETN, Rashad White as your RB3. Then you can do like we're all doing for RB2 and just kind of see who's out there. Play the waiver wire game for your RB4.
Yeah. That's why I want to know who's other wide
Yeah,
receivers are.
so
That
good
makes it
stuff.
easier now for us. So we
Yeah,
got
see now we're
Dolby
kind of
Tar
warmed up
coming in here,
asking. We
right?
we didn't answer the second part of Dylan's question.
Dylan. Oh, you got a second
So
part?
yeah, he said Stroud solid. What are your thoughts on Stroud? Basically, rest of the season.
I think he's going to be solid. I would not move on him.
Yeah, I'm good.
He's
I have
proven
him and
he's
Dak in the
good.
league, and I'm kind of like I need to trade one of them, but I think I'd rather trade Dak. And he gets Tennessee twice in the playoffs. Should be.
Dak's doing all right, man.
Yeah, Dak's doing all right. I mean, like I said, remember last week I remember last week
Yeah.
I started Dak over Stroud, and the week
Yeah.
before I did Stroud over Dak and just got it
But
totally wrong.
Stroud's not going to do another 5 touchdown game. I mean, those are the ones.
Yeah.
One in,
So you say
You
he's
know what
only
I mean.
played like 5 games in his whole career, and he already has
I
a 50
understand.
point
They're
game.
not even nobody
There's
does
some
that. That is
people who've
not that
never
often.
like.
They get
He's
3
part of
touchdowns.
like the 50
I'll
point
give
club.
you 2 to 3 touchdowns game all the time, but
Yeah,
getting 5 touchdown games all the time is not a
it's a
consistent
little
thing. You
tough.
know that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not
That
saying
was
he's
good.
not going to be solid.
Mixon
I'm
did
just
it
saying,
once last year, right? Mixon had a
yeah,
5 touchdown game last year.
exactly. I'm just saying you're not going to get those all the time. Those are just
That
few
was
and far
crazy.
between.
But
You
yeah,
just
I
want
mean,
somebody who's
again,
solid, and that is
would
solid.
you trade Stroud for like Mahomes, Hurts, Josh Allen? Right, you're taking it for those
Would I
guys,
trade
right?
him?
Yeah,
But yeah, that's about the level that you're going to get. That's what he's at. Where
right.
he's at
So
right
I don't
now.
know. So that's would you trade him for Lamar? I would assume
Would I
Lamar
trade
is
him
the
for Lamar?
QB
Yeah, I
four
would.
ish.
I'd rather keep him.
So you have Stroud over
Lamar at
Lamar.
4? Is Lamar at 4 right
I'm
now?
just saying, like the kind of consensus, like the consensus would be
Yeah.
Lamar as the 4th best quarterback right now after the trio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then who do you have? Like Herbert? Would you rather have Herbert or maybe Burrow? Maybe Burrow's the 4th over Lamar. I think everyone has them 4 or 5. So that
Yeah.
next tier is Lamar, Burrow, and Herbert. Do you have Stroud in that range
I would say so.
behind? So behind them though.
Yeah. No, right in the same, in the mix with those guys. I'd say the second tier.
Well, I'm just saying. So like
'Cause, I mean, you got
if you
Allen,
had
Hurts,
Stroud and someone
Mahomes.
sent you Herbert,
You got like Allen, Hurts, Mahomes, and Jackson. I'd say that's tier 1. Maybe in Tua with like 5 guys.
yeah.
Right?
Well, we're not doing tiers. I'm trying to see basically where you have CJ Stroud right now.
I would say the second tier.
So, well, no, I mean like if somebody sent you Lamar Jackson for Stroud, are you hitting accept if you have Stroud?
Why would the Lamar Jackson want to go for
Joe Burrow,
Yeah, why would they go
Justin
down to
Herbert?
Stroud?
Like that's what I'm asking. Like any of those 3 guys, you get offered an offer for CJ Stroud. Are you hitting accept or are you hitting decline
I
and
think
keeping
that you're
Stroud?
doing a lateral trade is what I'm trying to get at. I don't think you're.
Well, that's what
those
I'm.
are
But I'm
about the same guys week in and week out.
right. So like that's if it's pretty even. Then like which one do you
Yeah.
prefer? If you consider it even, right? Because
Well, I'd
it's a
still take
no-brainer if
Lamar
you
right
get one
now.
of the trio.
Let's
So you'll take
take
Lamar. If you got offered Herbert, would you take Herbert? Or are you sticking with Stroud?
Let's stick with Stroud almost at that point.
All right. What if you're offered Burrow?
I'd take Burrow. Burrow's
Okay.
on fire now. He's lit up.
So you basically kind of have Stroud as like your QB7 then, because you have the trio or QB6. Then you would take only Lamar and Herbert ahead of him, or Lamar and Burrow, but then you would go Stroud and then Herbert would be like your top
Stroud,
section,
Herbert,
right?
yeah.
So that's where you have them dialed in.
Yeah.
See, it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that exercise. That's why I wanted to really get it in there and see where you're at. I think I have them a little like around there. What about Tua? Tua would be the next one.
Tua would be above those 2 guys.
So do you have Tua above Herbert?
Herbert and Stroud.
And Stroud? Okay, so technically Stroud would be your 7.
7. I
Okay.
think it'd be 7.
So go Stroud and then Herbert basically from there. Okay. Yeah, and I think those are pretty much our top guys. Then you go into like the Trevor Lawrences, Justin Fields.
I'm not sure if it's helping answer his question, but I think it is.
No, I mean
we're that high, right?
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, that's
I would not be
that's. I think
trading
he
them
wanted
off.
to know.
If you're solid with them, yes, you're solid with them. That's what I want.
Yeah.
just to be clear, don't
Yeah.
move on.
Well, because he said,
With
but
them,
it's the
write 'em
second
out.
part. He says it's worth going to sell high to trade for a top 5 QB. So that's why we had to decide. The top
Could you?
5
Could you
QB.
though? Could you?
No, that's what he said. That's what we were trying to determine. That's why I wanted to
I'm
know if
saying,
you
could you
actually had
really
him
though?
at 5.
Would somebody actually go for it? That's my thing. It's like
You
you
never
could
know,
sure
man.
could
I've
try.
seen
Can you
some
pull it off?
crazy.
Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
See, like according to Ron, he said he might be top 5, so don't sell him. See,
yeah,
like that's what I'm getting at. So
yeah. I
anyway,
wouldn't
all
move
right,
on
well,
him, and I don't think you're gonna get a top 5 quarterback anyways. You're gonna end up paying too much anyways at that point.
for sure. All right, so we're getting to our live Q&A here. As you guys know, if you have questions, comments, anything, drop them in the chat. Again, it does help us if you put at Rasta, at Get Right, at Frank in there, so we know it's a question versus you guys kind of answering each other's questions or going back and forth. But
Especially
we'll,
Ron. Just kidding.
we've been doing this, so it's all good. We got Ron in the chat, one of our ambassadors here, so he'll hold down the chat for us and give you guys his feedback in there as well. And let's see who else we have in here. So there we go, Dole Guitar.
Yeah, Dole Guitar.
That's where you left off at. Go ahead.
So he goes, he's 6-3. I got offered Stephon Diggs and Amari Cooper, my 3rd and 4th for Chris Olave, T. Higgins, and a first to start a 9. First and a 9th, I imagine. This got to be Dynasty, right? What we're talking about for my 3rd.
Yeah. Has to be Dynasty. So you got offered Stephon Diggs and Amari Cooper
with my 3rd and 4th picks as well for Chris Olave. So he's going to get Chris Olave and T. Higgins and a first and a 9th.
I don't know about the 9th. I think he's saying he's like starting 9 as far as in the lineup.
Oh,
Like
okay.
1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, maybe 3 flex, a tight end, maybe a super flex. I think that might be 9. So yeah, I don't think it's bad because you're getting significantly younger. Obviously, you just have to be worried about where T. Higgins is going to go next year. I doubt he resigns with the Bengals. So
Yeah.
if he goes to a good situation, that'll be good. Olave is going to be tied in New Orleans. We just have to see if they're going to move on for Derek Carr or not, or give him another year there. I mean, they signed him to a multi-year contract. It's just a matter of if they're going to trade him or, sit him for. I mean, they signed Jimmy G to a multi-year contract, and they sat his ass. So, nothing's out of the question here when it comes to football. But I do like it because you are getting younger, you're not giving up a first or a second, and you're getting a first out of the deal too for later on. So, yeah, I mean, but he's also 6-3 though, so like he's contending this year. If you feel like you can still, like, if you feel like you're a contender with Diggs and Cooper, like in your 6-3, because there's some 6-3 teams that are like 4th place. And especially in Dynasty, those other teams could be like 8-0, 9-0 right now, or whatever, 8-1. So if you feel like your team is kind of, not able to compete with those top echelon of the teams, or if you are one of those guys because of Diggs, and Cooper, then you might want to stay put. But if you're kind of want to still kind of go for it this year, but still be able to compete later on, then maybe you go for Olave. I don't think Cooper's only 29, so he still has a couple years to go, but probably is going to be declining. And then Stephon Diggs attached to Allen, so it's tough to get rid of him, but he is getting older as well. So yeah, that's a tough one for me, man. I'd really have to see the rest of the team, rest of the league, to truly give you an answer there. So I hope something in my jumbling, and my rambling there, answered what you were looking for. If not, just let me know a little more info, or make sure you go into our sleeper channel and you can drop a screenshot of your team and maybe some of the other teams in there, and I can help you out a little more. But what do you think?
I think that with the guys that he's going to get, the offer for the first and whatnot, like you're saying, it all depends on who else he got, and it obviously is contending this year at 6-3. I would probably write it out, man. I don't think you're going to better your team so much that you're going to be like, oh yeah, let me contend next year.
Yeah,
Versus now.
it hurts. Like it
Because
hurts
you were
you a
talking about,
bit.
we were just talking about how hard it is to get to championships in general. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you don't have that many great opportunities, so you don't want to wreck the ship when you're on the way to win.
Right. Exactly. So I agree with you there. So yeah, I think we need just a little more info there. So there we go. All right. So we got D's Nuts. His name's Jeff, actually, in the house. What's up, man? He says, should I drop Pierce or Pitts for Judy, Dell, Warren, or Spears? So I would definitely drop Pitts for Tank Dell. Like that should be done immediately. And Pierce, you might just have to hold on to, man, because running backs are tough. Like trying to find any, like we're picking up guys like Amari DiMarcado and freaking Keaton Mitchell.
You'd rather have
Like,
Tank Dell over like Jalen Warren or Spears, or even
oh,
Judy.
Dell over Warren or Spears for sure. Like Dell's contributing to your team right now. We were just talking about CJ Stroud. You have as like your QB, whatever. Like that's his QB1. They went to college together. Like that's you want that piece. So, and I'm just saying, like the guys we're picking up off the wire and like having to start, like Pierce isn't that bad. Like he's not put him on the waiver wire bad. Like you could stash him. You're not feeling comfortable start him, but if you're in a pinch, he's going to be better than starting somebody else. You know, in that situation. I don't have. I still think I have Pierce over Warren and Spears.
Yeah,
and I would take Dell over Judy, and I'm fine dropping
Warren
Pitts.
and
I've
Spears are
never
more
dropped.
like handcuff guys at this point, and spot starts at best, and you might get 4 to 5 points out of those
Yeah,
guys
spot
on any
flex
given week.
starts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Pierce is a
But
spot
they're more like, hey, if
RB2
the other guy goes
start.
down, they're like definitely number one starters and going forward and whatnot. So they're again, that's a good handcuff, but it doesn't mean you need to go get them if you don't. If you need the depth and you need somebody, I would agree with Anthony. I'd take Tank Dell
Yeah, I think
over
that's the one
Judy.
for sure. Yeah,
Drop Pitts right off the
absolutely,
bat, like a bad
for
habit.
sure.
Should have been dropped a long time ago. I'm surprised you still have him on your team.
Right. I just never drafted him, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be in
He
that
dropped Pierce.
situation. Yeah, this is Cal Vista. He said he dropped Pierce and Christian Watson. He couldn't do it anymore. He was
I dropped
asking
Christian Watson too.
earlier.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah, he said that was his Warren, Spears, Gibson, and Algier. Looking for that week 11. So, yeah. All right, what else we got in here? I gotta go down. I was like, wait, we already read that one.
I had Kittle, Kincaid, and Tyreek Hill Saints at tight end. I made a trade with Kittle, Nico, and Eagles D for Amon Ra, and Browns defense feels like stacking Allen and Kincaid rest of the season. Oh, Taysom Hill on the Saints. Okay, so he had a lot of tight ends.
Kittle, Nico, and Eagles D for Amon Ra and the Browns D. It's hilarious trading defenses, but yeah. I mean, Kittle and Nico for Amon Ra. That's a good deal. I wouldn't mind doing that at all.
Yeah.
And he has Josh Allen to go with Kincaid. I mean, you kind of have to worry about Knox being back, but like I said, the only person that really has an advantage over you is the Kelsey owner, and Kelsey hasn't been doing that great. So who knows if the Kelsey owner even makes it to the playoffs? So you might be good.
I don't think that Knox coming back is going to hurt him anymore. I think Kincaid has shown some stuff now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they've shown some mustard now that
so they do like
feel
Knox. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Ron said Bijan's not a bust. I'd beg to
he's
differ.
a bust for sure, dude. Are you kidding me?
I beg to differ.
Drafted in the
Like
first
we drafted
round.
this guy as a first rounder, and he's like done nothing. Like he scored his first touchdown, his first rushing touchdown last week, bro.
Yeah,
like that's a bust.
That's a bust. That needs to happen in like the first.
Like this guy was drafted as like the RB3 overall, and he scored one receiving and one rushing touchdown. Christian McCaffrey did that the last game he played.
Yeah, like
just
every week.
1 week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like he's literally scored in 17 straight games, and Bijan's scored in one game.
Yeah, he's a bust.
Or
He's
two,
definitely a bust.
Yeah, he's a bust for where you drafted him, not the talent. The talent's not a bust.
Yeah,
Arthur Smith is a bust.
Just the value they're getting out of the draft pick is what we're talking about.
Right. Yeah, the value of the draft pick's not a bust, not Bijan. I love Bijan. I hate Arthur Smith.
We're okay. Yeah,
just for the record. Yeah, and that's why I'm trading for Bijan in the hopes that Arthur Smith gets fired. The side problem is they only play like one more team with like a winning record for the rest of the year, so they have like a legit shot to go 9-7 and actually make the playoffs, which would almost save Arthur Smith's job, which is the worst thing in fantasy. So, yeah. Anyway, don't even get me started on that. So
if that guy just lost Goddard and Waller, probably could have got more out of that dude.
Right? Oh, for Kittle, yeah. I think it was good. I mean, he got Amon Ra. Amon Ra was late first round, early second round pick. I mean, you can't and he's produced. Like, you can't go wrong with
know,
Amon
I'm
Ra.
just saying.
And he's off his bye week now, so you get him for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams not been that guy. Who else did they just sign there? Didn't they sign some other wide receiver there?
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway,
Spoke of the Cat Cat.
go
I
ahead.
feel like I have a good team. Hopefully, taking the trophy this year with the 12 team, one flex home league. Burrow, Bijan, Brees, Jacobs, Gibbs, Charbs, and Najee. Then you got Lamb, Chase, Godwin, JSN, and tight ends. You got Kincaid and Taysom. Yeah, you do have a good team. It's a good, solid team, man. Barring any injuries, you should be all right. Just put the right people, start the right guys on the right weeks. You should be all
It's
right.
a freaking nice 12-team league game. Like, that's crazy. You got Bijan. What would you do? Pick like 12th, 11th, or 12th to get Bijan and Lamb? I think he
Yeah.
went Bijan, Lamb, then Gibbs. How did he get Jacobs and Brees? He had to have done a trade or two.
Because you had Jacobs to get.
And Chase. Chase is the 102. He's not getting Chase, Bijan, Lamb. So, yeah, he's been trading a lot. Good job, Smokey.
Yeah, good job.
That's a nasty 12-team league. We're rooting for you, man, especially after that horrendous Josh Allen trade. Like I said, I'm not going to let you live that down. That was
Yeah, that
awful
other
trade.
one. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
terrible.
I don't know if
What
that
was
was
going
with
on there?
this team.
Yeah,
I think it
wasn't this
was
team. I
because
don't
now he
think.
has Burrow. No, remember did he trade like Chase for
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
Burrow because he wanted to stack Burrow with Chase, so he gave away Josh Allen for like
yeah. That was crazy.
cellophane wrapper.
I don't. Yeah.
This guy. But take it down, brother. Take it down. Um,
Where your loss is the way the Ravens are playing. I got to go with Ravens DST versus Browns over Jets DST versus the Raiders. Right? What would you guys do?
you have two great defenses there. You know me, I just spot start defenses. Like I'm a defense streamer, so I truly don't even care. Like to me, I would start either one of these guys.
Which defense would you pick? Would you pick the Ravens
I mean,
defense
the Raiders are
or the
going
Jets?
against the. I mean, the Raiders have. I mean, they have Devontae Adams, but like they got Aiden O'Connell. They got no line, so you should be able to get sacks at the
So he's
Jet.
going to
That
go against
Jets.
Sauce Gardner over
Yeah,
there with
that
the Jets.
dress front. Yeah, and then that at least have Sauce to kind of shut down Adams potentially, which I don't really want to say because I have a lot of Adams shares, so I'm not really trying to say that.
With Aiden O'Connell throwing at Adams.
Yeah, and that's if he even gets time to throw because that Raiders line is awful, and they're good. The Ravens defense is good overall, but the Browns are good. They just lost their left tackle though, so that we have to see how that kind of plays out. Decent running game.
That's not the Jets.
They got Cooper, and they have obviously
Ravens.
Watson, who's
You
better
sold me on
than
it.
O'Connell. I think I'm going to go Jets, man. I think the Jets have better opportunities for sacks there. But the
Sacks and
Browns are
picks
a
against
good matchup for defense
against a
too.
rookie
So
guy. Sacks and picks. You get a pick six out of that guy.
yeah, I think it almost comes down to that. Who you think is going to throw a pick six?
Yeah.
I think
You heard it here first.
O'Connell
Jets
would
pick
versus
six.
versus Watson would. So there you go. Yeah, it's whoever scores a defense, and it's going to suck because whichever one you pick, the other one's going to score defense. At least that's how it
Right.
works for me. But yeah,
So we
I
got a
think
new
I
guy
streamed
here.
two good defenses this week. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go to
You
our
ever
new
seen
guy.
this one? Reborn
Jungle
173.
173.
That's I've never read that movie before.
Welcome. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
what's
for
up,
the
man?
subscribe, man.
Lavi or Bijan now and rest of the season.
So
Who do you
Bijan
think
gets
now?
the Cardinals. Bijan versus the Cardinals. I know that for sure. We've been talking a lot of
and
Bijan.
we want to see what happens with Bijan in this game. This is a very telling game. We really wanted him to, do well against here, and hopefully,
Yeah, if he doesn't do well
for the
against
rest
the
of the year.
Cardinals, then he's a sit, like for sure.
He's a droppable almost.
Like so, if you are going to trade him, you got to trade him this week.
Yeah.
And then you get Olave going up against this Vikings defense. Probably should be a shootout there in Minnesota, playing in a dome. Good
That
for
should be
Derek
good for
Carr.
him.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Olave over Bijan this week, and especially if it's any kind of PPR half or full or even 3/4. Remember when that guy asked, "I'm playing 3/4 PPR"? Remember that?
Yeah. He even put it out there. I was like, "What?" The
Yeah,
hell?
he was like, "It's 3/4 PPR." I love it. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Olave, man. I can't with Bijan right now. I'm literally starting Ramondre Stevenson over him in a league this week. I have Bijan, Demont, and Stevenson, and the only way Bijan's seeing my lineup is if Demont's ruled out. Like even if it is a 50-50 split with Gibbs this week coming back, I'm still starting Demont. I can't with Bijan. And once he fumbled, like he didn't see the rest of the field, I just don't know. I can't with Arthur Smith. All right.
I'm
Um,
gonna go with Olave as well. By the way,
you're going to Olave. Oh yeah, and rest
yeah,
of season.
just again, and then rest of the season, I would go with Bijan. Depending after this game, basically, if he has a good game
Yeah,
at Arizona, then I'm going to be like leaning towards Bijan. If he
yeah.
doesn't,
There is
then
no
because
rest of
Olave has
season.
not been too solid this whole season.
Yeah,
He
he's
like
had some up and downs, but like I just really like the schedule. He's is the number one. I mean, he's had a couple drops away from you know
big games, right?
having a lot bigger games,
Yeah, that's true. And we got who's got a
and his
playoff here? He's
playoff
got
schedules.
Giants, Rams, Tampa Bay
Yeah,
in the playoff
so
schedule. That's nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
dome, and then in Tampa, like I was saying. So yeah, I mean,
But
I don't
I
know if
like
I'd
running
take a
back.
trade for Olave over Bijan, but it's
Hmm.
doable. I could see both sides of it. I think it's a good deal for both sides if you make that trade. If one needs a running back, one needs a wide receiver, it's about even based on where they're at right now. All right, so
So this is an interesting
hold
question
on, I had him.
for
Hold on, Ron said I think the sneeze might be a little more creepy on silent. Remember when
yeah,
I muted when I had to sneeze there?
yeah. Just a second
Oh
ago.
man, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it looks kind of creepier. It's like, what the
Yeah,
hell's
it's like
going on there? So if Keaton Mitchell continues to be productive with his touches, do you guys think it would force Ravens to give 45 to 60% snaps in the near future, 5 to 6 weeks?
no,
I don't. I
not
think
45 to 60. No, no.
no. They'll
I
get
mean, if
maybe
Gus gets
25
hurt,
max.
yeah, if Gus gets hurt, it's there. Justice Hill's the receiving back. I think
Yeah,
they both played more than him. He was just super efficient. He's almost like a Devon Achane light, if you will, like a poor man's Devon Achane.
yeah,
So we want to see more. Here it could just be a three-headed monster. They all get 30%, and 10% goes to like Lamar, or maybe a little more to Lamar. So he's worth stashing. Like, and we just don't quite know yet. He's just kind of coming onto the scene. Was late to the party, so to speak, with his injury that he suffered. Was on IR. Just kind of got activated, got hurt again, I think, and then just came back and finally got in the game this last week. And forget what was it, 9 carries for like 138 yards and a touchdown with that the big run for a touchdown. So, I mean, that's someone you want to have on your team. I don't know about starting him quite yet,
yeah.
but definitely worth having. But I don't think like
I
to
don't
get
think he's ever going to
60%
get
of the
45 to
snaps. Yeah,
60%.
I was gonna say like to get 60% of the snaps, like we're talking like top 5 running back. Like only the top 5 running backs see 60 or more percent of the snaps. So like most backfield slits are like if you're happy if you have the RB1 and a 65-35 split, you're happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get to that
The
point.
guys that are on question are 50-50. So like maybe he can get to 45. Maybe he phases out Justice Hill and it's like a true 50-50 or like 60-40 type thing between Gus and him. So yeah. But anyway.
So I
Uh
switched. I'm just going to skip all the
yeah, go ahead.
chatter. Should I flex Ferguson over James Cook? That's a good
Oh
question.
man. That is hilarious.
Because we are
Because
at that
James
point.
Cook is, I was gonna say, because James Cook is really tough right now. Ferguson coming off that big game, he gets the Giants this week. The only problem with him going against the
Another big
Giants, and I
game potential.
just don't think they really need to throw it. But like if he gets his touchdown, like on the first drive or something, and he's the one who scores the touchdown, then he'll probably
Yeah.
have a good day. But I just don't like the potential. It wasn't like with Philly when you knew he was gonna sit back and have to throw the ball, so much, and you know. Yeah, when they played the Giants the first time, he had 7 targets, only had 2 catches for 11 yards. I mean, you like the 7 targets, but I just don't think they really would need him in this game. It should be hopefully a Tony Pollard get right game, and they just need to let him feel some success to, take them into the second half of the year here and get ready for the playoffs. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd go for it, man. Run the 12 personnel. I'm going Ferguson over Cook. I'm doing it. What about you?
I would too.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I would. Cook
Why
just
not?
the touches
Not doing
aren't
anything.
there. They're just like Singletary's over there.
And they
It's
just
too
signed
much.
Fournette. Fournette
Yeah.
might come back right now and take more of
Yeah.
his work.
It's just too scary for me. I have him, and he's a tough start. He's not somebody I want to be uncomfortable with basically anymore.
Yeah. I mean, he started off pretty decent, getting a couple, games, but then just really nothing. He's had one
Yeah.
double-digit game in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, I've seen that, dude. It's terrible.
in full PPR. Like, we thought this guy's going to get a lot. He hasn't seen more than 4 targets since week 1 when he had 6. After then, it's been only 4 targets. And he's barely not even catching them and doing anything with it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
He's
He
a
caught the
flex.
1
He's a
touchdown
flex, and if you
against
got
New England
Ferguson,
week
I think you
7.
got a better shot against the Giants. I would start Ferguson easily.
Yeah, and they
All
are
right,
pretty
so
terrible against
we
the
got
Giants.
Taco Cheese here. Taco Cheese.
Yo, taco cheese.
Got 2 trade offers this morning. Oh, nice. Full PPR. Send Tua, Waddle, and Ford for Swift and Pittman. Or he's going to get Waddle, Cook, Aaron Jones for Diggs. And he has Eckler, Kyron, A-Chain, Connor, and his RB depth. All right, let me look at it again here.
So, no to the first one, Tua, Waddle, and Ford.
Yeah, that's
You're
way
definitely keeping that package over Swift and Pittman.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Tua
even
and Waddle,
close.
yeah.
And then I don't think this one's even close either. Waddle, Cook, and Aaron Jones for just Diggs, like Diggs only. Like,
Yeah, you need to have
I
a
mean, I
lot
guess
more than
Cook
that.
is kind of a throw in, but I mean, to give 3 for 1, like, I'd at least want something back. Like, you need at least
Yeah.
a Cook value type player back. You're
Yeah.
giving up 2 running
Throw
backs
in
and a
like
wide
a guy
receiver.
that's like in the mid 2 second wide receiver or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I guess the second one's not as egregious. Plus Diggs has the week 13 bye, which kind of sucks, so you're not really getting him for that game.
But Aaron
You'd
Jones
have
is
to.
coming back, man.
Yeah, he's kind of coming back. Cook is awful. He already has Eckler, Kyron, Achan, Connor, so he has the depth to do it. Really.
Waddle will have his games. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, the second one's much better. The first one is a hard no.
Yeah, it's a hard fucking.
Like, in my opinion, it's a hard no. The second one, it was a kind of no at first, but I think that's what it would take to get someone like Diggs. And if they're offering it to you, I don't think it's horrible with the running back depth that he has. You got Connor coming back. You got Achan coming back. Kyron Williams. They're all coming back now. Like,
Yeah,
at least one of
Kyron,
those guys
Achan.
should play this week.
Kyron and Connor. Kyron's coming back this week, and then you'll have
Yeah,
Achan
Kyron's on a
next week.
bye. Connor might be back here. Achan, yeah. So I don't know. I'd probably do the Diggs one if you feel compelled to do it. The Diggs one's not as egregious. Cook to me is just a throw in. I mean, he's your RB like 7 or 6 or whatever it is. I don't mind doing Aaron Jones and Waddle for Diggs. Like, that's fair value. And then you're kind of throwing in Cook. That's fine.
Yeah.
That one's now that
somebody
I think about that one more, I'd take Cook. Or I'm sorry, I'd take Diggs there.
You take Diggs there.
Yeah. So cool. All right, what's our next one?
Browns like your team sounds pretty low already. I'd rock with it, right? But we got Adrian Beat Yishrin. I don't know how to say that.
This is Adrian. He's back, man. What's up, Adrian?
What's up?
It's Adrian Beat Your Son.
Oh yeah,
Get it?
Peterson.
You remember? Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
we're just gonna call him Adrian. Remember that?
That's hella funny.
He got me the first time with it. What's up, Adrian? Welcome back, man. Glad you caught the show.
dude,
It's been a little while.
Pick 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 flex out of Dotson, Marquise Brown, Najee, Brian Robinson, and Gus Edwards.
All right, so start with the wide receiver
with-
first. Which wide receiver are you taking here?
Marquise.
You're gonna go Hollywood?
Although Dotson's been doing pretty good lately, but I would take Marquise Hollywood Brown.
You know me and Brown, man. I never have this question because I don't even know how to value him because he's just not even a player that registers on my radar for whatever reason. With Kyler Murray back, it could get kind of ugly there. Arizona against Atlanta, they're a pretty good defense anyway. You got Washington going up against. Who are they going up against this week? Forgot already. The Seahawks. Yeah, I think I'm taking Dotson, man. Still no Curtis Samuel. Yeah, I'm gonna take the
Dotson. You like Dotson?
Yeah, you know that. So I'm gonna. And I don't like Brown, so I'm surprised it even took me that long. Kyler coming back is kind of possibly the reason.
For running back, I'll take Gus Edwards.
For the running back, I think I'm gonna go Gus Edwards as well.
And then for the flex, I'll take Brian Robinson.
Damn, are we gonna completely agree? I think I completely agree with you. But I could see if it's full PPR, like maybe you go Brown there just to throw because Brian Robinson's not really catching passes. He'll catch a pass or 2 here or there. But if it's like full PPR, I think I might go Marquise Brown over Brian Robinson in the flex.
Look at these
Just
guys. These guys
roll that
both
out.
like Brown and Najee. Brown and Najee.
Yeah, because they're brown. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, those were like the two people we didn't really want to pick.
Yeah, I'm not down with the Najee. I'm not.
I still need a little more. I mean, the Packers defense kind of give up a little bit there. They are playing at home, but yeah, I still can't. Like Gus has been doing good. I like Dotson, and like I said, I'll give Brown the flex if I want to do that. So
All right, so we
there we
got
go.
one from Caden here. So Caden's asking, would you? And I think he's new to the show. Is this new to the show here?
Yeah,
What up,
what's
man?
up, Caden? Yeah, I don't think I've
So
seen that name
subscribe.
before.
Give us a like, please. We appreciate it. Would you trade away Saquon, Hollywood? Here we go again, Hollywood. Great, Gabe Davis, Chuba Hubbard for Devontae Smith, Eckler, and Kareem Hunt. This trade is in
Yes,
discussion. 12-man PPR.
I would personally.
Please trade away Saquon, Hollywood, and Gabe Davis for Chuba, Devontae
And
Smith, and
Chuba.
Eckler.
So it's a 4 for 3.
Oh, and he's getting Eckler and Kareem Hunt.
And Devontae
Smash
Smith.
that accept button.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll take
Smash
that.
that. Stop asking us. Go
But
get it.
Caden, I don't know if you went back and saw our intro. So we are, just full disclosure, we are a little biased. If you go back
Yes,
and
we
watch our intro, Eckler, friend of the show over here. So we always kind of lean
He's
Eckler.
balling out, dude. I mean, even
And
the
he
last
just came off
game.
2 touchdown game. They
Yeah,
were playing
I mean,
terrible. He did
they
good.
put him in right at the end. They was like, "Oh, here it is. We could just run you right in." And what did he do? Just
Right.
run it right in, right at the gut.
Yep.
It was easy
So
touchdown. You know he's going to get the touches when it's at that point when he's at the red
mhm.
zone and they need to get that touchdown. It's going to be
And if
Eckler
they
all
can't
day.
get QJ going, man, his targets are going to fly up again, man. We might see him around those 8 to 10 targets a game again if
Yeah,
they can't figure it out. So
and he's getting healthier and
with
healthier as
QJ,
the weeks go by. Like it was at first, it was a stumble and this and that, and I was worried about him when he got tackled on when he got rolled up on those legs, and I was the ankles. I was
yeah,
like, "Ooh, don't get it." They came back up. He's popped right back up, and I was like, "Yes, he's healthy. All right, we're good.
yeah,
We're good."
we're all big Eckler fans over
Yeah.
here, Caden.
So
Just so you
yeah,
know, man. So
so
yeah,
yeah,
so
I
we're
would
saying hit that
ready to
smash.
take that.
Yeah, and you just heard my thoughts about Hollywood. Gabe Davis is more like a best ball type guy.
Yeah.
Whenever you start him, he's going to do terrible. Whenever you don't start him, he's going to go off on your bench. I just don't like having those kind of guys, unfortunately. But shout out to Gabe Davis, man. I do like him. We gave away his jersey last year, signed jersey. So again, no hate, just tough for your redraft leagues. Chuba is just a waiver wire guy. I mean, yeah, he's technically the starter on a terrible 1-7 team. That's not really going to be playing from ahead. So you're getting negative game script there. He's good if you got decimated at running back, but
So the guys
you
were
can
asking
I
who
don't know
he
replace
had
that.
at depth here. It all depends on depth and who he has at wide receiver. So he posted the rosters: Josh Allen, Saquon, Rashad White, Keenan, Hollywood, Hawkinson, Taysom, Christian Watson, Gabe Davis, Chuba, Charbonnet, and Rashi. I would still definitely hit that
Yeah,
smash.
I'm taking that.
Yeah, we're still on board with that.
Yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah,
I'm taking that. Yeah, because he'll have Keenan, Devonta Smith, Eckler, Rashad White. I mean, it kind of sucks you have but I mean, those Keenan and Eckler are going to be the guys getting all the targets. There, you give away your Josh Allen, Gabe Davis stack, but that might be hurting you more than helping you. That's a good, like I said, a good best ball stack, but redraft kind of tough. And then you still have Rasheed Rice. You got Watson, who you can maybe even drop. Hawkinson, that's good. Yeah, you got a good team. So I like that.
so coming back here to dull guitar here. Moving
Oh
down.
yeah.
These
So
are the
this is a
4
follow up.
teams
Yeah.
are 6-3. And one team is 7-2. I'm second highest scorer. I did, and if I did make the trade, Olave would take Stefan's place, and Higgins would take Connor Cooper. I'm sorry, spot. The worst player starting is Demario Douglas, and he's up and coming right now with the New England. So he's still like, are you going to go with that
So it sounds like he says
to get
if he's the
get the
second
youth
highest scorer,
right?
so that means he's in third place because the 7-2 team, and he's the second highest 6-3 scorer
Yeah.
or second highest scorer overall. So he's either for second or third place, let's say. So second or third place, man. Because I don't think you're taking too much of a dip by moving off of
Yeah. And he's saying just waiting for Kyron Williams to
Smith,
come
Cooper.
back. And I have my 2 first right now, mine and another team. So he's already got 2 first-round picks coming
Oh,
up.
and he's gonna get Marvin
Another
Harrison.
team
Let's
is 0 and
go.
9, so he's gonna be able to get the 0-9. So I was planning on drafting Marvin Harrison to make up the team with Olave
Oh,
and T.
and he
Higgins. I
has
also have
Puka and Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra.
Damn, I think you might have to do that because you
Yeah,
might
then
just
you
be
gotta have to
set to
get
just
really
rule for like the next 4 or 5 years, and it's not like you're completely giving away your shot for this year.
yeah.
Like
Now we
really,
like it better.
Diggs is
Now that we
really the
know
only
more about it.
piece. Yeah, Diggs is really your only piece. That's tough. Shoot.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I didn't get on that cough button soon
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, I mean, Diggs is like the guy. Like Diggs is well above all these other guys, and they all kind of have question marks, but we've seen what their tops could be. But I could see how giving away Steph could almost give away your championship. You know what I mean? Like I can see that very well potentially happening. You would just hope if you do give away this one, which is nothing's guaranteed, that you can hopefully maybe pull in 2 or 3 later. But again, it's not like I don't think Diggs is done. Like Diggs doesn't look done. Like,
No.
and guys are playing a little later in their careers now. So maybe this 30-year-old marker isn't what it used to be, especially with all the defenseless receiver things like that. You have to understand those guys aren't getting hit like that anymore. So that could be prolonging their careers. So man, that's really tough, man. I have it like 6 on one side, half a dozen on the other.
I say go for it, man. You're a dynasty. You're trying to get all those picks.
Yeah,
But you already got
and
Marvin
you're getting a
Harrison,
first with it
but you're
too.
already getting you already got 2 firsts. It's almost like you're getting greedy though.
Man, is Steph Diggs worth it, man? I don't know, man. I'd have to. Who I'd want to ask about that is Tycoon. Hopefully, Tycoon jumps on here later.
You got
Dolgatar.
taco cheese, man.
Yeah,
Moving on.
that's tough.
Taco cheese. Don't think Devontae Adams is gonna turn it up?
I don't know about turn it up, but he'll be like
Hopefully he
I
keeps
I
doing what
think he
he's
could be a
doing.
mid to
Anything.
high end wide receiver too,
Yeah,
with
he's
some
not a wide
flashes of
receiver.
wide receiver 1 a little bit
Yeah.
later when O'Connell gets up to speed a little more. I think O'Connell's better for him than Jimmy G, honestly.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you, Reborn Jungle. Bijan has been my downfall on one of my teams. Just keep
Yeah,
rolling him out every week and hoping for the best. And I always figure it's too late now to trade him. You're not going to get what he's worth, and you just kind of sink, sink with the ship. Yeah.
yeah. I drafted Bijan and Stevenson, and somehow I'm still alive in that league. It's because I go wide receiver heavy. So, oh no, I didn't. If I got Bijan in that league, oh, I got lucky because I picked up Puka. Kind of saved me, and just played the
And this guy's
running
kind
back
of
in.
nice. It's
But
like
anyway,
don't need a
let's go.
quarterback. He's got Lamar and Bryce Young. It's one QB.
Yeah, I think someone was probably telling him he probably should get Caleb with that pick instead.
Instead of Marvin
the-
Harrison. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Who cares? Um, let's get down here. See where we're running at here.
Oh, Ron did say he's like, you guys remember some drafts are auctions, so maybe that's how he got all those crazy good players with Bijan and
Oh, yeah.
all that. That's right. Did he say it was an auction? But
Let
yeah,
us
that's good. Yeah, it's a good idea. All right, what else we got? Are we caught up?
Yeah, no. Are you kidding me? The 12th.
I know. I saw we were like 20 minutes
Okay,
behind.
back
So
answered.
there we go.
He said, "Yeah, I picked 12th." See, so it wasn't a
Damn, I called that shit. See?
yeah. Bijan, CD, Jacobs, Brees, Gibbs, DJ Moore, Burrow picked up Kyron from waivers and then traded for Josh Allen. Yeah, it was this team. LOL. I traded Allen for DJ Moore and got Chase. LOL.
That's
So yeah,
what?
this is the team. He still did too much on that. Got to
Yeah.
really get smoke of the cat cat, but just that one was like no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Remember he picked up guy off a
Yeah.
waiver, traded him for the QB1, and then traded the QB1 away for Jamar Chase, the 102.
It's like, wait a
And
minute.
DJ Moore. It evened out in the end, I guess. That's awesome. That's still awesome. I still think he made out overall, like considering you just basically traded Kyron Williams and DJ Moore to get
Yeah.
Jamar Chase. Like that worked out. Who cares what happened in the middle? None of that matters. Good stuff. All right, so let's see. Where are we at?
So this is the point where you all got to make sure you put in at Rasta, at Get Right, at Frank, so we could go through all these other questions. If you want to get your question read, make sure
For
you
like an
add at
hour in, yeah.
Rasta, at Get Right, at Frank. One of those things, just so we could, when we're scrolling through, it's easier to find your question because you guys are doing a lot of talking amongst yourselves, which is great. That's what we're here with this community, so we could all help each other win championships, right?
Right.
Give us our best opinions, our best takes on it. Who you know what we look at, what we're not looking at, how we feel about certain players and just situations. But in order to get your question asked and answered here on the air, please do add at Get Right, at
In a
Frank,
timely manner.
at
But
Rasta.
sometimes they can't because they're only limited to a certain amount of characters in there. So I get it, guys.
What do you mean
I
talking
get it.
about a certain level of characters? These guys are writing books sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes that's why when they're writing that book, they can't also add at get right in there. So that's where like, well, Rasta is pretty short. You can just put Rasta in
Yeah,
there, or like,
yeah.
you know, put a giant Q at the front so we know it's a question, like Q with a colon at least.
What's
Something
up,
to mark it.
EK?
All right. So what's up,
What's up?
EK? How's it going, man? He says buy, sell, hold on 3 players, Stroud and Demont and Pollard. So buy, sell, hold CJ Stroud, Demont, and Pollard.
I'm buying CJ Stroud if you can.
Yeah, I was like, I consider Stroud a buy, sell, and a hold, just depending on your situation.
Demon, I'm
Like,
holding because of the whole Gibbs situation over there, and I'm holding or selling Pollard. I
yeah,
don't know if you
I
can
think I
sell.
agree with everything you just said. If anything, I'd consider Damon a buy. If you can get him cheap enough, if people are worried with Gibbs coming back and him coming off 2 injuries, you might be able to buy him low.
Yeah,
I'm just betting on the fact that Dan Campbell's going to come in and still give him 20 targets, and he don't give a shit about your fantasy team. He's
yeah.
trying to win games.
So these
Ron
guys
says
are
hold all
looking
3.
good. Right, hold all three exactly. I mean, they're going off about some kind of trade or whatever going on with it.
Yeah, no, they're still talking about what's his name's team over there. It's a good team.
Yeah,
We got
AJ.
yeah. See this how
Yeah, I was
far
about to
far
say
behind
that.
we are. He says it's great to see you guys. Remember me, and just wanted to brag. Oh, that's awesome that he has
That's cool.
Devontae. That I have Devontae, Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, Alvin Kamara, Mostert, Achan, Herbert traded for Tyreek early to a guy who panicked. Oh, that's what's up, man.
There
See,
you
and
go.
that's why you belong here in the Get Right fam. Of course, we remember you, man. Absolutely, we really try to remember a lot of the folks here that gave their time to us, man, and helped us grow. So hopefully you've seen our new intro, man. Go back and watch the beginning of the show. We have an awesome new intro. We just hit our 1,000th subscriber. So hopefully you've seen that
That
pin chat
video.
that's up there. So make sure you go check out that video. Leave your comment on there because we're going to be giving that thing away on Wednesday the 22nd. Yeah, we're giving away this ring. So make sure you stay all in it, man. It's open to all subscribers. So make sure you guys go check out that video. Again, it's pinned in the chat here. Of course, it's in the description as well. So yeah, make sure you guys go check it out. It says must watch 1,000 subscriber giveaway. All right.
Did you know
Oh,
Bijan is
see?
good
And this is
for this
exactly
same
why.
fantasy points?
That's why you can trade him off and get what you can for him right now. Oh, look at EK. Shout out to EK for saying that. Get right. There we go. Our first
There
one.
you go.
Finally, we've been saying it for like 4 shows. The first person
Yeah.
who did it. Let's
Thank
go.
you. Good
I
looking
almost
out.
want to send him a T-shirt just for that.
Just for that, right? Like, good looking out.
I haven't given out a T-shirt in a while. I was giving out those things like water last year. It's like you get a shirt and you get a shirt and you get a shirt. I don't know what happened to that. Need to get some more shirts out there. People
Yeah.
represent. So he says, I get right. Buy, sell, hold. Oh, see, he just he did it. It was the same one. We already did it.
Good
Oh,
looking
okay.
out.
So
Thank
there we
you for
go.
that.
No, we appreciate that. Way to set the example there.
He's on the whole
Ron,
speech. The
yeah.
whole speech was directed at me.
Which one was
No,
it? Which speech?
no, just to say the ad get right. No, it's not for that, dude. We appreciate you being there and talking
Oh yeah,
everybody.
no,
It
Ron, we wouldn't
just
trade
makes
it
it
for
easier.
anything.
It just makes it easier for us to like get to the next person, right? The
Yeah,
conversation
no,
is
that's all,
great.
man.
It's the
We'll
community.
do it.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate it. Don't stop what you're doing, man. We appreciate you get to these people before we can answer their question that holds them on until, be like, these guys are never going to get to my question and turn off. But at least if you're answering in there and then boom, the question will pop up and we'll see what happens. So we appreciate you doing that, man. Definitely not directed to you.
EK is
Let's
coming
see.
up with a situation for this team. The Stroud, Devontae Adams, Amari Coop, Etienne, Pollard, Cole Kmet, Nico, and Rashid Rice at flex, and currently 3-6, but sixth place in a 12-man league is 4 or 5. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
No, so he's saying the sixth place is 4 and 5, even though he's 3 and 6, so he still has a chance to get in the playoffs there. So he's not like out of it. He's only one game behind
Yeah.
a playoff spot. I think you're good with Stroud.
So that's in regard to
Devontae Adams might be killing you. Yeah, in regards to the buy-sell holds. Which were Stroud, Demont, and Pollard. Well, first you want to be starting Etienne and Demont. I'd be starting Demont over Pollard at this point. If you could try to package Pollard, like maybe Pollard and Rice, or maybe like Pollard and Adams, to get like a Diggs, maybe AJ Brown. Like maybe the AJ Brown owner is, in a similar situation, not like undefeated or something because he's on a bye week this week. Maybe you can pull off Adams and Pollard for AJ Brown. I would try to do something like that. Maybe Pollard for Kamara if someone's worried about Kamara. I'd like to, upgrade your wide receiver there if you could turn Pollard into maybe like Olave straight up. Didn't we get that question kind of above up there? Something similar, like Pollard for Olave. Maybe even take the chance and trade Pollard for Bijan. You might be able to get that done and just hope Arthur Smith gets fired or they just, take their head out of their ass and start playing Bijan like he should. But yeah, what do you think?
I think I think the first two that you mentioned were the right ones to move. It's Pollard and Rice. I think that you could get some people with those guys to really improve your team a lot better. And you should be starting Etienne and Demont if you have them available. The rest of it looks good. The rest of it's solid.
Yeah, you'll come back. You just had a couple situations there, so there you go. We're almost caught up, and then we get into our show. Hour and 15 minutes in. See, that's what's up. He says, I also won my league last year. Much help to you guys. Oh, there we go. Nice little subtle flex there. We'll take it. It was much appreciated. Now let's go back to back. That's what I'm talking about. He says, who's been your biggest draft bust? We've probably been talking about him here tonight. I think Bijan. Yeah, Najee. Who else? Calvin Ridley has been a bust compared to where he was drafted. Jahmyr Gibbs is considered to be a bust to me based on where he was drafted. Who else? Who else you got bust there? Not that I've been thinking about it or anything. I just rattled off like 5 people off the top of my head. Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson's been a bust. You can consider Pollard almost a bust. Not like a bust. Like they've been startable, but based on the draft stock you put into them, like even thinking what they could be. Yeah, those are tough picks, man. The wide receivers pretty much hit, like Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp when he's been healthy at least to an extent. Like you could consider Cooper Kupp maybe, but he fell kind of like to the second, third round in some drafts. Who else was drafted up there? Like a lot,
Other than injuries for some of these guys, and that's kind of you already know.
Yeah, you can't count injuries. Yeah,
and that doesn't count. So,
and then like
quite a few.
Like, I mean, do you consider someone like Jahan Dotson a bust? I mean, he was drafted in like the 6th, 7th round. Like that's not like a bust. You weren't like expecting it. You're just kind of drafting for potential upside there. Yeah, who else? I mean, is there Justin Fields maybe is a bust as far as a quarterback goes, but his has been more, play and. Well, I mean, is for a quarterback, he was drafted fairly high. He wasn't being taken like where the trio were taken, like in the first 3 rounds or anything. But yeah, so I think that's a good list. Hopefully that works there. Ron disagrees and says Pollard has better days ahead. You should hold Pollard. I like that take too.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but he was thinking I was thinking something like Pollard, Rice, and Curtis Samuel just acquired in return for Demont and either Hollywood Brown and DK. I like that.
Yeah, if I can get Demont and DK. Yeah, again, we're not Hollywood Brown fans here. Ron will probably say go get Hollywood Brown over DK.
Hollywood Brown, we don't even care about that.
Yeah, it's like I just had to full disclosure there. We might be a little numb to that, but yeah, so it's all good. He said Najee was his. Yeah, I think I mentioned Najee as one of those. Yeah. So there we go. He said, get right. There we go. Second person using it. He says, I also want a t-shirt. I'll take a medium. There we go.
Nice.
They are on our website. You guys, we do have a website at getrightff.com.
By the way, we do sell them.
Yeah, we do sell them. If you guys want to help support the channel. Yeah. If you guys want to support us.
Throw out to one of these guys here.
But yeah,
Might go out
so
to
like
a
a buy
second
one get
place
one kind
guy,
of thing. Yeah,
another 1,000 subscriber, and be like the second place guy or something. Or
right. Oh yeah, maybe we'll do that when we do the giveaways. We'll maybe draw for a couple shirts first. Be like, you don't win the ring, but you just get a shirt. They're gonna be like, get out of here with that. They want the ring. Nah, anyway. All right. So what else we got? We're almost. I think we're almost caught up. Ooh, one more just came in. We got a
let me
couple more
think
that
about
just
what
came
these.
in.
Who has your biggest draft win? For me, Laporta. Hell yeah.
Oh, Devon Achan. I think even with his injury, Laporta is great. We're big time fans of Laporta over here.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, there's
I'm gonna
been a
look
lot of
at you
guys.
real quick to think about who my biggest
So
draft.
let me see who I got. Yeah, we didn't draft Puka. He was just a good guy.
Yeah, he was just a
Um,
waiver wire pickup or something like that. Yeah, I think it's somebody who's like.
oh, to me, Dave Montgomery. To me, he was one of my biggest draft wins. He was someone I was real big on that was being drafted late, or
Yeah.
that I felt people were sleeping on. Christian Kirk, everybody went on the Ridley hype and all offseason. I was saying, why draft Ridley that early in the second when you could just get Kirk
So you
like
picked
5 rounds later?
yeah, and you were right. That was a good call.
um, so there's that. I get blind squirrel catches in that every once in a while. Um, one of my biggest misses was Miles Sanders. How do we not talk about Miles Sanders? Like, he's so off the radar. He doesn't even come up in my mind. Oh yeah, Ron, that's a good one. Jacoby Myers. I was actually down on him. Gave Tycoon his props for that. But who knows? He's right when I gave him his props. Jimmy got benched. The whole team's falling apart. They fired everybody, and maybe he doesn't even get you know get anything going for the rest of the year. But yeah, so I like those kind of questions. Appreciate that, Adrian.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I like doing stuff like that. So that's real fun. All right, so I think we're finally caught up, man, in the chat. So
Oh,
if you
but
guess do have any more
he finally did the
questions,
good thing. You got to skip that whole what type of value does
oh, he
Pollard
did. Oh, I thought I didn't even
price
see it.
package yield?
I thought it was there. I don't think I
I
refreshed my
seen it. I
screen.
seen it, man. Thank
Oh,
you for
see,
that, EK. See, I
yeah,
got you,
for
man.
sure.
I'm on your. I got
What type of
your
value does Pollard, Curtis Rice package yield? Well, Curtis Samuel, like he's hurt right now. He's like to me, that's just like a throw-in. Sometimes people would rather not have it because then they're forced to drop somebody else.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're almost better off leaving that out. But if you go to like the Mahomes owner and try to give him Pollard and Rice to get, someone there. Obviously, if they drafted Mahomes, maybe they, hit on somebody later. But I like, who you were kind of targeting. Those guys, the Demonts. Maybe you can get if you're looking like for a wide receiver, you can get Devontae Adams maybe in another piece. But I'd like Demont and someone a little better maybe than Rice. Like maybe like Demont and Devonta Smith you can get for Pollard and Rice. Probably not. But yeah. So either way. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Adrian's
Pollard.
nailed it on the head here.
Oh, what do you
So
say? Go
thank you
ahead.
guys for turning on that notification bell. Highly recommend you guys do too. They're knowledgeable and rarely make wrong picks for you for your league. Honestly, we try, man. We try. Thank you for that.
Let's go.
We
Hey,
don't.
we didn't
They're
have to
not
pay
all
him to say
wins, though.
that.
I ain't gonna lie. That they're not all
Yeah,
wins.
no, we're
I ain't
wrong
gonna
a
lie.
good amount of the time.
Yeah,
But
not all wins.
our thought process behind it's always right.
Yeah, we're
So
thinking about it.
we have the right thought process. The results, hey, if we knew that, we wouldn't be here. We'd be sitting on, on the beach somewhere in Costa Rica or wherever place of our choice that we'd rather go on a yacht somewhere because we'd be millionaires if we were able to predict what actually was going to happen. But based on our standings on where we are, we have a couple leagues that I think I have one league where I'm in like last place in, and like another one I'm on 11th out of my 16. But the most of them I pretty much have winning records everywhere else.
Yeah, I got one
So
losing record. That's pretty much
not
it.
like trying to like toot my horn or say anything, but
Which is
we
Bijan.
put a lot of work. We put a lot of work and effort into this. Like we're pretty in tune with what's going on.
Yeah,
So that does help. Not
exactly.
gonna lie, it does help. So yeah, when we
Exactly.
eat, breathe, and drink and sleep this, so it's all good.
So, guys, continue in
Um,
the chat. We're gonna do some regular show stuff real quick to let the
yeah,
chat catch
so we'll
up and
set the
whatnot.
chapter here. Yeah, if you guys want to hang out for this, you can. We'd appreciate it, of course. We'll get through some news and notes here, and then do our buy, sell, hold, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah,
So, you want
Thursday
to bring
night,
up
though.
the?
Thursday night
Oh, we
football
haven't even got
starts.
there. Let's do our
Yeah,
Thursday night
that's
first.
that's where we're at first. It's going to be the Panthers at 1-7 versus the Bears at 2-7. The low lights playing the low lights here at 3.5
Yeah,
over under. 3.5 on the Bears. Yes, so 38 and a half over under.
Hey, I was like, hey, it probably is a 3.5 point over/under in this game.
Spread for the Bears. My bad.
It's going to be 0-3. Everyone that bet the over is going to lose.
Another kicking fest.
Can you imagine? That would be terrible, bro. All right, go ahead. My bad.
I'm not too enthused to watch this game, so we're probably gonna be playing darts through it. So it's like whatever. So Frank Reich said that he expects Chuba Hubbard will start the game, start again on Thursday night against the Chicago Bears, and he expects Miles Sanders will split carries with Raheem Blackshear, getting some reps too. So I like that
Full on
Chuba's
committee.
getting the start though. And yeah, it is a full on committee, but I think that they'll stick to Chuba. Chuba's
It's
earning
going to
the
be the
spot.
hot hand approach.
What you think? I mean, but I think he's earning the spot, right?
Yeah, definitely. I
And
mean, for him to actually come out and say he's starting, and they're not doing like, oh, give Sanders the start, and then we're just going to bring Chuba in like 2 plays later, and basically he plays like the rest of the game. Like they're not even doing that. Like they're actually declaring him as the starter, and Sanders really didn't get a lot of run until the end of the game, and he looked decent, but yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
And so now we
I
got
didn't mean to
Tyson
budge in.
Bagent is also starting for the Bears on Thursday versus Carolina. Justin Fields ruled out, still recovering from the thumb injury. So, got another opportunity here for Bagent to do something and hopefully, stand out. Maybe, solidify position there as a backup or, expand out for some other teams. But yeah, nothing exciting on this game. Just keep an eye on the Chicago running backs, see what they do, and same thing on the other side to say, let's see what the committee wins or whatever, right? At this point,
Right. So yeah, let's just start at quarterbacks. We're not probably starting any quarterbacks in 1 QB leagues here. You might be forced to start these guys in 2 QBs with the guys, on a bye. Um, you know, but maybe you're throwing Badgett in there if you really need to. But I pretty much have these guys as a sit. As far as running backs go, we talked about the committee over there, and then basically committee on the Bears side as well too, with Herbert coming back off IR. He's been activated. He hasn't officially been signed to the, or not signed, but activated to the 53-man roster at this point. Sorry, I didn't put that in the notes. But there's still he is expected to play, and it looks like it might be a 3-way timeshare between him, Foreman, and Roshan Johnson. So we're talking teams that don't really put up a lot of points, and all of them have 3 guys in their backfield. The only person I really feel kind of confident starting in this game is like Adam Thielen and maybe DJ Moore, like as a flex, if you really need to, or like wide receiver 3. And then maybe Cole Kmet would be the next guy that I'd feel most comfortable starting. As far as my top 3 that I would even consider starting in this league: Thielen, Moore, and Kmet.
yeah,
And the other problem is though too, you're probably gonna have to start some or one of the. I mean, I'm literally starting Chuba in one league, and I have to decide between the trio. I literally have all 3 of the Bears guys, and have to figure out which one to start in another league. So I'm not too thrilled about that. I'm almost hoping Herbert just gets ruled out so I can throw Foreman in there again. But we'll see. How it happens tomorrow. And yeah, you're sitting Mingo at this point. And yeah, I mean, no one else really fantasy relevant here. So we can move on.
yeah.
Unless there's anything else you have to add.
No.
All right.
You covered the rest.
All right, that's good. All right, so I'll do the topics here, then I'll let you do the quick reads on the for the injuries there, or we can split them up, or however you want to do them. So moving on to our news and notes here. Let's get that banner switched out. Boom. News topics and injury updates. We have the practice window for Viking star wide receiver Jay Jettis, Justin Jefferson, is being open this week. His 21 days to be activated have started. They're saying this does not mean he's going to play this week, but he's on his way back from that hamstring injury that landed him on IR in the first place. Kevin O'Connell said it would be a little aggressive to think that Justin Jefferson could play Sunday versus the Saints, though he said Jefferson can't wait to get back out there. So sounds like he's excited. Definitely doesn't sound like they're going to be shutting him down, which we were all kind of worried about, 4 weeks ago. Maybe he sits one more week, but just to go through a week of practice, not put him in a game, and then kind of ramp up next week and be ready to go, which would put him out 5 weeks removed, which is right in between that initial 4 to 6 week, window that he was initially kind of diagnosed with, so to speak. So, what do you think about this with Justin Jefferson?
I think it'd be great for Dobbs. I'll tell you what.
I like that too. I like that too.
But yeah, if he's healthy and he's ready to come back, he'll be doing this thing. I don't think they want to rush him back, and if he's not ready, they're not going to put him in anyway. So they're willing to take their lumps, especially now that Steven's out and all that stuff. So why not? You know what I mean? Like they're not worried about winning the Super Bowl this year, so they're more about staying healthy and figuring out their future.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Rams signed Carson Wentz as their RB2. Just 2 days after starting against the Packers, QB Brett Ripien, they cut him. They waived him. They said they seen enough. Got his first start and he's out of there. So he'll be waivers. They signed Wentz coming off the couch, and he's going to be the new backup to Matt Stafford. And so there we go. They're sitting on a bye this week, so Stafford's expected to be back for their next game, Week 11. I'll be happy for that, and all of us Cup and Puka Nacua owners are going to be happy as well.
Man, that's like losing your job on your day off.
Right?
Sad.
I mean, he could have just played better, but when
you got an opportunity, man.
I mean, they're just like, we've seen enough. Yeah, I think I could have went in and done a better job. No, there's no way. I would have got killed. But yeah,
Ron's like, Carson Wentz fooled another team.
Yeah, exactly. It's because the dude's like 6'6", and I'm sure he just looks like he knows what he's doing. Like when you have a frame like that and you can throw the ball the way he does, just because he's that size, like. It's just when he gets out there, he just is not making good decisions. So we'll see. Mike Vrabel,
need a backup at this point right now.
Yeah, and he's just at least he's accepted a backup role. At least he's doing that. So he's not starting anymore. Yeah. So he half fooled him. Yeah. All right. So Mike Vrabel said Will Levis is going to be the starting quarterback for the Titans moving forward. So that'll be exciting. No Tannehill, even if and when he is ready. So it looks like they're going to see what they have.
That dude wouldn't have got his job. You know what I mean?
See, he didn't get waived.
Yeah, he didn't get waived. Exactly. He went out there.
And you come in and throw 4 touchdowns, you're not going to get waived. So
that's what threw us off with Dobbs. I mean, that's what threw us off with Dobbs. Next, he's over here with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's what the plan was.
Right. Well, I mean, if they knew they were going to kind of see what they're going to get out of Kyler, maybe see what they're going to go out of tune, and they had an opportunity to get some assets for Dobbs. And maybe it was for Dobbs' sake too, because maybe they were going to do it anyway, considering they were 1-7, and maybe it's better than sitting. At least they gave him an opportunity to go somewhere to still continue to play, and play he did. Right. So that was good stuff. Last little item here we have kind of involves your team, Steelers, former Steelers wide receiver Martavis Bryant. Also, I think with the Raiders, signed with the Cowboys practice squad after yesterday's workout. I don't think he was suspended from the NFL back in 2018. He most recently played in the XFL. He's 31 years old now, so that means he's older than Devontae Adams. He's older than Mike Evans. He's older than Keenan Allen. He might be the same age as Keenan Allen. But he's not that fast young kid that we saw him as, a few years back. He did have 18 touchdowns in 3 seasons with Pittsburgh. But kind of always never really hit his true potential there. He's going to be on the practice squad. We'll see if he even ever gets elevated. I just think it was crazy that he's been added to so many fantasy teams. That just shows you how desperate people are right now. Like, bro, this guy hasn't played since 2018 in the NFL, and y'all picking him up off the waiver wire in week 10.
And I was like,
this is crazy. You guys are crazy, man. Yeah, let's slow your roll. Slow your roll. It reminds me of it reminds me when Josh Gordon came back and everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, this guy's been back like for his 3rd time. Like, and he hasn't done anything since like his rookie year. Like, God, miss me with Josh Gordon. He didn't even have a good season. He had like a good 4-game stretch, and everybody just like, oh, this is the guy now. He's this guy. Oh, remember when he signed with the Patriots? They're like, oh yeah. I was like, I couldn't stand
the opportunity, right?
Yeah, come on, guys. Like, we're thinking Bijan's a bust, and we're sitting him, but we're gonna go out and freaking pick up Martavis Bryant. Like, come on, guys. Like, come So I just want to put that out there for a little PSA.
Put that in
Just to put it in a
right?
little perspective there, guys. Like, let's not overreact too crazy. That's for Monday. We overreact on Mondays, not on Wednesdays. Like, we're gonna get your
We
lineups
already
right
calmed down
here
now,
on
bro. Let's
Wednesdays.
get
Yeah,
straight.
exactly. Yeah, we got to get right now. It's time to get right. All right. So, quick injury reads. Go ahead. You want to alternate?
Yeah. We'll get started off with Dan Campbell says Demont is going to be ready and good to go. He was good at Tuesday practice. Didn't suffer any setbacks. Excuse me. And he's looking to be getting better and better, and it should be starting this weekend. We also got Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase, a little sore on his back. Did not practice today, and I think that's just precautionary. He did have that hard fall on his back, but I think he'll be able to play this week. And you also got T Higgins there with the hamstring listed as limited, but he should be fine as well. And then we got Texas wide receiver Nico Collins of calf was also limited. I don't think that's anything to be worried about either. All these guys should be starting this weekend.
Yeah, and again, it is just Monday, so take everything we're saying here with a grain of salt, so to speak. You know, a lot of guys are rest days
Wednesday.
or limited. It is week 10. First practice of the week for most people. So,
Yeah, start resting some people a little bit, especially guys that are like,
so just we'll get
nursing the
more
injury.
info for you guys on Friday. So that's when it's more telling. But yeah, so moving on here, we got a Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito is going to be the starter on Sunday against Dallas with Daniel Jones out for the season with his torn ACL. They also signed Matt Barkley to back up DeVito, and they also signed former Niners Colts quarterback Jacob Eason to the practice squad. So they're searching for options there, obviously, with Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones out right now. So you also have exactly Josh Dobbs. Yeah,
Wentz was already taken at that point.
They could have got him a long time ago, but that's weird. Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray, we talked about him coming on, is technically off the injury report as of today. They have activated him to the 53-man roster, which they had to do before Sunday, I believe, they would have to do it by Sunday because they opened his window 3 Mondays ago. So that would have been 21 days, and he would have been out for the season. So they're there. He's going to make his debut for 2023 here this Sunday and against the Atlanta Falcons. So we'll see how that all goes. We have Cardinals running back James Conner. They opened his 21-day practice window today. He logged in a limited practice, and they hope to get him back paired up with Kyler Murray here soon. We also have Seahawks running back Ken Walker. He got a DNP. He popped up on the injury report with a new chest injury, so that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe if Charbonnet is out there in your leagues, maybe kind of soup him up, especially if you're the Ken Walker owner, just in case you might need a spot start him if this chest injury doesn't kind of heal up, so to speak, by Sunday. You also have Texans running back Dameon Pierce, also DNP today, was inactive last week due to that ankle. So, looks like it could be the Singletary show again this week, which it wasn't. And I hope all of us CJ Stroud owners prefer Dameon Pierce not to play, because then they probably won't even try to run it, and they'll just throw it all over the yard with CJ Stroud and Tank Dell and Nico and
5 touchdowns.
and Noah Brown can all eat again, and Schultz. So let's do that again. That was a lot of fun. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, hey, let's go get some of those going.
Yeah, let's not give the ball to Dameon Pierce 20 times anymore. So so go ahead. You can pick up there.
Yeah, so we got your wide receiver, 49ers wide receiver Debo, shoulder full participant in practice today. He's coming off the bye. He should be starting this week, right?
Yeah.
So we also got wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, hip, did not practice today. Also down, so we got to keep an eye on him, see what's going on with that. Again, it's just Wednesday. It's the first day of practice, and sometimes they're just sitting guys who do have any kind of injury designation to let them heal up a little bit and get better. Another one we're looking at is Falcons wide receiver Drake London, groin, limited practice today as well. Another one we keep an eye on. I'm definitely keeping an eye on him.
Missed last week. Yeah,
disappointed season this year. I was hoping for bigger things for him.
And right when he started actually playing kind of good with Ritter,
like,
then Ritter gets sick, and then he gets hurt, and it's just and they're still not using Pitts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like, what the
go ahead. My bad.
No, it's all good.
My bad.
It just goes back to coaching over there with the Falcons. They just got rid of that coach.
Arthur Smith.
I think that whole team will get straightened out.
Ugh.
We got Packers wide receiver Christian Watson is no longer concussion protocol. He practiced full today. I already moved on from Christian Watson. Just so many injuries and just not living up to the potential he has. And I just can't keep waiting and hoping that this guy will do something. There's other guys that I think I passed up on just to hold on to this dude, and just it's one of those situations basically. Um,
Fool me
right,
once.
right, exactly. That's enough of that. Um, Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones was participating limited in practice today, with his brace on his right knee. So let's keep an eye on that as well.
And
James,
remember, they were just talking yesterday about him potentially being an IR candidate. So who knows
yeah,
where that's going?
yeah, and he had flashes here and there. So let's see what happens with him.
Yeah, they
Um,
definitely need him back. I just don't know
yeah,
if he's ready.
yeah. I'll let you go take the last couple. We got.
Okay. Commanders wide receiver Jahan Dotson. He was not at practice today. He was excused for a personal reason, and he will be back tomorrow and play Sunday. So nothing to worry about there. If you guys saw his status change in your respective leagues, I was kind of worried, and then I read the little note, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Wait, what happened to him?" You hate to see that pop up, on a Wednesday. And then we have Browns tight end David Njoku. He's dealing with a knee issue. He got a DNP today. I mean, this dude played when he had like his
Yeah,
face burned off, so I'm sure he'll be
he'll
out
be
there on
fine.
Sunday.
Yeah,
So
unless that did
he's like
slowly.
my favorite. He's like my new favorite player this year. Like I've
Yeah,
always kind of liked him. Thought he hasn't really quite lived up to the hype. But after that and his whole costume, you remember when I threw up the
yeah.
costume and all that stuff, man. I was like, this dude's awesome. So I like
Let's just
Ninjoku,
hope
man.
he makes it through Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Flood of fires.
That's messed up. That's messed up. All right. So that wraps up, man, our news topics and injury updates for you guys there. We'll jump into the chat here real quick and then
Oh,
get to our buy sell hold.
JAC had an
Yeah.
interesting one. I gotta get to it here. Where did he go? Jesus. Here we go.
And if you're new watching with us, drop your question in the chat and we'll get to it. So go ahead.
Please do it at Get Right, at Frank, at Rasta. So we see it easier, but right now it's kind of chilled out for the first hour. We were just full on live Q&A.
Rapid fire, yeah. Well, not rapid fire, but we're going through them.
Yeah. JAC, he's about to complete a trade. He wants Thielen and Rashad White. So he offered me Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and Puka for them. Which players should I drop? Kyler Murray. I have Dak and Fields on IR.
I love how he's like, I'm not asking you if I'm taking this trade or not because I'm taking the trade.
Yeah,
I just need to know who I need to drop.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love that. I
would have said take the trade, by the way. I would have said take the trade,
yeah. And he said he also has Chuba Hubbard or Tank Dell. So you're not dropping Chuba Hubbard, that's for sure. Or I'm sorry, you're not dropping Tank Dell, that's for sure. Personally, I'm dropping Kyler, but again, listen back to our old episodes. I just don't think you're gonna get too much out of Kyler. Like I think basically he's starting his preseason right now, and then he has a week 13 bye, and then
he's got to knock off some rust, make sure he's healthy.
Knock off some rust. Like he might get one or two games, and then he gets like Philly or not Philly. Who is it? He has a tough playoff matchup. So he gets like Chicago and Niners and somebody else, Dallas or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I think I'm kind of leaning Kyler. And just because you could just roll with Dak, and there's no point in holding, three wide receivers.
Dak and Fields is.
Yeah, you should be good. They're both these passes by. You got Fields coming back.
You don't need three quarterbacks. You said three wide receivers.
I would try to trade Kyler first, maybe, like before just having to drop him. Like if you're playing on sleeper, you don't have to drop somebody when you can, when you do the trade. Like you can complete a trade, and then you just can't do anything with your team until you correct your roster.
Yeah.
So you could still do some other trades.
But you want to set your lineup before you do all that.
Yeah. You just can't set your lineup or do anything crazy. Yeah. So first of all, make sure you're on sleeper. So you don't have to worry about this, and then you can work on trading Kyler or make it like a three-way. So that it can happen that way. Maybe trade off Kyler first. Kyler and somebody else. Then go from there.
Leaning toward dropping Dell because I have St. Brown, Puka, Olave.
Oh, you can trade Dell. That's what I'm saying. Like if you don't mind, like maybe you package Kyler and Tank Dell for somebody. A lot of QB things going on. A lot of QBs on bye this week. You go to somebody with Kyler and Dell with the game. I mean, he was just the wide receiver 1 last week.
Yeah,
That's value.
yeah, that's wide receiver 1. You don't get that often.
Yeah. So
And he
just
just does want to see how Murray does and this week, and then make a
yeah.
decision. Yada yada yada.
Yeah. So yeah, if not though, if you need to open up that spot and you're really wanting to take that trade, then that's what I would do. Like if you're not feeling Tank Dell, like go to the CJ Stroud owner and give him Tank Dell and Kyler Murray for something. I don't know. And if you don't really care, you could take like Chris Olave. It's better than just dropping him and giving him to somebody for free.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. You guys,
like that's what you got to think about.
Those guys are valuable at this point.
Like if you're going to drop him anyway, you might as well just take a quote unquote loss on your trade, and because your win is opening up the roster spot for the new people you're getting in that other trade. So don't overestimate that 2-for-1, and especially when you need to open up the spot, then you don't have to worry about it being like fair, as long as it's not vetoable, which there's no collusion. It shouldn't be vetoable. So yeah,
starting running backs for Eckler, Pollard, and have been starting Rashad White at flex. Chuba Hubbard is only on the bench for running back, but you think I should definitely take the trade. You kind of convinced me to dump Murray, though. That's true, though. We're not.
But again, I would still try to trade him. Like trade Murray and Tank Dell if you need to, or something like that. Then yeah. So there you go.
Is it true? So you'd rather have Aaron Jones over Rashad White long term?
Yeah, I think I might
would have Aaron Jones over Rashad for sure.
Especially if you don't need him. Like if you can just let him sit and kind of see how he does. Remember, the last time we seen him healthy, he was RB1, week 1, when he was fully healthy.
And he wants to do the trade just to buy low on Davante Adams.
Yeah, I think it was a good trade. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. And you're getting Puka. You're buying low on Adams, Puka.
Dang, gosh, I feel like it's a home run trade. Why doesn't he like it?
Why doesn't who like it? Me or you? Or somebody else in the chat?
Ron. I'm sure it's Ron.
Oh no, you said yeah. He said yeah, I would, but Frank wouldn't.
No, I would.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
I would on that.
He says, I received Davante Adams, Puka, and Aaron Jones. They received Tank, Rashad White, and Thielen. Oh, if you're just going to include it in there.
Just to clarify.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of buying names, if that makes sense. Like you're buying name value, which might be easier to trade to other people. Those other guys, Tank, Thielen, like they're producers. Like they're not sexy. Those roll your sleeves up, blue collar fantasy guys. They're not the sexy Davante Adams and Aaron Jones, like, and even Puka, the hot new thing. Like, it's
it is that 3/4 PPR stuff.
Oh, let's go. See, there we go. There it is. That's right. He was the one. We were just talking about that earlier, Jay. So you were like, "Oh yeah, someone who asked the 3/4 PPR league." I love it. So there we go.
I like Aaron Jones. I have Aaron Jones. I don't have no ill.
Yeah, no. He said it might be Mike. Yeah, it's classic. That doesn't want anything to do with any. Well, he doesn't want anything to do with Packers. Like he called that in the beginning, and then right out of the gate, week 1, Aaron Jones was like week 2. Jordan Love was on fire. Like, remember that? Like, everybody was like doing crazy Dobbs. That like everyone's picking him up off the wire, and yeah, now he's trying to take his victory lap. I was like, classic. No.
Calm down.
Yeah, but that's good stuff. All right, so let's get to what do we got next?
Buy-sell trades.
Buy-sell trade. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. All right, and then we'll try to get out of here before 2 hours.
Trades. Yes, I know.
You want to do? All right, we could go the other way. Go ahead.
You.
Let's go.
Are you buy?
You see how I have the notes set up, right? Those are just kind of names. Like you just kind of got to know what's all going on with the league. I just put names there. Okay, those aren't the actual like guys. And then you have the link, right, for the most traded on CBS. We got to shout them out.
Yeah.
Since we're using their list. All right, so go ahead. So let's start with the quarterbacks.
Get this link going. How do I even get it going here? We'll pop it in here. Hold on a second.
You're good.
Anyways, so the first guys we got on here on the list are you buying, selling, or holding Jared Goff?
Jared Goff? I'd like to buy him if I can. Might not be able to get him. If I have him, I'm definitely holding him, and I'm for sure not selling him unless you're selling high. Like I would take CJ Stroud maybe over Jared Goff just because he's kind of the hot new thing right now.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I like Goff. I have him in several places from the beginning of the year, so.
Yeah, I want to ask you about CJ Stroud because I think we already talked about a lot of enough in this show.
Yeah,
Definitely a
and he's the number
buy.
one traded quarterback right now, according to CBS Sports. So
Yeah, he's just moving around left and right because everybody's like, "Oh, it's a shiny new toy. Let's see what you
yeah,
can get for the toy, right?"
squirrel.
Um,
Yeah,
let's go for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence,
Lawrence coming off a bye
St. Louis
week, kind of
Assists.
forgotten. Felt like he
Yeah,
hasn't played in years.
yeah.
Buy sell trade Trevor Lawrence. I think I'm holding, and if I could buy him low, I would. But I don't know who I would kind of trade for him. I think I would
And
rather
he is
have
playing the
Goff over
49ers
Lawrence.
right now, right off the bat after this bye week.
He should have a decent game.
Still be all right. I mean,
Yeah, in the passing
four
game.
losses in a row for the 49ers should be all
Yeah,
right.
it's tough. That's tough. He's probably all right.
Yeah.
Should be a good game, unless our defense is pissed off and we come up with some kind of new something, and Bosa gets his head out of his ass. Anyway, uh,
Let's go with one more guy
yeah,
that's
tell me
been
what I think
injured,
I said.
coming back from
But yeah,
injured.
I'm gonna say buy. I'm gonna say buy and hold. I'm not quite
Buy and
selling yet.
hold? Not
Yeah,
yet? He's not done yet?
yeah.
Just
Just
kidding, 'cause I got
I
him,
still
so
believe
I'm
in
just
Yeah,
but hold on.
he needs Zay Jones back. Honestly,
And he's got that brace going, so who knows?
yeah.
How about Justin Fields? Think he's
Justin
coming back
Fields,
soon
buy,
enough?
sell, or hold Justin Fields. Um, with him like potentially coming back next week, if you can get some good value out of him, I would. That thumb injury kind of scares me. If you guys remember when Russell Wilson kind of came back, he didn't look too good. I mean, he tried to come back real early from his like broken thumb or whatever it was, but you know, I just don't think he was that great of a thrower of the football. Already, he had a little kind of breakout there beforehand. I forgot I can't go like on 10-minute soliloquies on this, so I'll just say I'm going to hold him and sell him if I can. I'm not trying to buy him.
Not interested in Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the running backs, and I was just looking at some of the most traded on the running back side here. Um, so who do you think is going to move more, Javonte Williams or Tully Pollard? Because I know there's high on the list here as far as moving.
So like buy, sell, or hold
Yeah,
Williams and Pollard.
yeah.
For Javonte, if I have him, I'm holding them. Pollard, if I can sell him still high, I kind of would if I can get a package out of him. Like we've been talking about here. I think people that have asked us, questions about Pollard, I haven't been like, oh no, you can't trade Pollard. You know what I mean? Like that's not the reaction we're kind of given when we're getting these questions. So to me, I have him as a hold, just because I don't think you could sell him for enough. If you can, you just might need to write it out. But if someone comes with a good offer, then I'm not opposed to selling them. And I'm not trying to buy them if I don't have them already.
How about somebody who's coming back also as well? Joe Mixon here.
Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, someone I have as a buy and a hold, just because I think I could buy fairly low on Mixon. I think the overall kind of herd mentality on Mixon right now is he's not really doing very well, which, I guess in advanced metrics, he's technically not, but he's giving you double-digit points in PPR leagues pretty much, every game he's in a good offense. It's going to get cold here soon. And we've seen Mixon pretty much usually towards the end of the year. He starts, really balling out. Obviously, if Chase is hurt, they're going to have to lean on him, a little more. So, yeah, if I can get him at a good price right now, I definitely have Mixon as a buy.
Nice. He is very traded right now. He's high up there on the list. How about Josh Jacobs over there at the Raiders and the whole situation they got going on? He does seem to get a lot of touches.
Yeah, and I was gonna say Josh Jacobs I have as a buy too, man. I'm still trying to buy him. I don't know if you can buy him. He's just coming off a 2-touchdown game. I think he was the RB like 5 overall last week. I don't know if you can. He might be the owner might be trying to sell him a little too high for what I'm willing to pay. But he's definitely someone I'm inquiring on. To see if I can get him. If maybe the owner's a little worried about the whole change over there and thinking it could be a bad thing, then I wouldn't mind getting him. Like you said, there's no competing back there. They're going to have to throw it, with the rookie, or I'm sorry, they're going to have to utilize him both in the running and passing games. So, have him as a buy and as a hold. Actually, all three. I mean, I'll sell him too if I have him. I just don't have him anywhere, so I don't
He's
consider
to
him
be
a
able to
sell.
move around. Then you're like,
Yeah, he's a mover.
freely moving. He's a mover. How about over here, Raheem Mostert?
Raheem Mostert got Devon Achan coming back here soon. They're on a bye this week,
Yeah.
so
And you had some people cut into his touches, and
yeah. But if you remember, even when Achan was there, they were basically like splitting 50-50. The point was like, is these guys are so fast, and because they have, they have to cover Tyreek Hill, they can't drop a, safety down in the box. Then you got single high, and then like you're just gonna get eaten up by Waddle and Hill on the outside. So you're forced to play too high with them. You're forced to roll coverage there, which is why those running lanes were open for these two guys. So we've seen them both coexist and be basically top 5 running backs, multiple weeks in a row. Could have been the matchups, things like that. And again, Mostert's the only one who hasn't got hurt out of this backfield.
Solid.
So yeah, I mean, if you can buy a low on him, if the current manager is worried about him, then I'd definitely take a chance and see if he can be kind of one of those like throw in type pieces, even if he might be the main piece, you're trying to target. I don't think he, is gonna just fall off the face of the earth. So if I can get him at a good price, I'd definitely buy him.
And the last guy here, I know we got a big list. How about a guy that you and I traded, Jerome Ford?
Jerome Ford.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Jerome Ford. I actually like his usage and kind of what he's doing over there. He's been looking good. He's actually kind of the third down back as well, even though we thought Hunt might have come in and do that. I like the targets that he's been getting. I mean, he's coming off a 7-target game again, and that was against Arizona, and he had 20 catches, so 27 total touches or attempts, so to speak. 25 technically, but if you count the 7 targets, that's 27 plays that were basically drawn up for him. Playing 64% of snaps. Yeah. I mean, you can't really argue with that. Granted, he only had 44 yards on those 20 carries. So that was a little tough. Didn't score the touchdown. I think Hunt actually ended up getting the touchdown there in that game. And we've seen that happen when he had like a 60-yarder, went down to like the 5, and then they had to bring the other guy in. I think Pierre Strong, and he did it. Yeah. So that was back when I think week 2 when Chubb went down against Pittsburgh. So yeah, I mean, he's has kind of a little rough patch coming up here. He gets Baltimore this week, then gets Pittsburgh. Going back, to that Chubb injury there, but then it kind of lightens up, for the rest of the year. He has at Denver, at the Rams, Jacksonville, and then the playoff schedule is Chicago, Houston, and then he gets the Jets in week 17, which is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But that 15-16, man, if he can get you that championship game, then that might be worth it there.
Later. Exactly.
Yeah, you'll worry about if you lose in the championship. There is no next week after that, so you're not going to shy away at that point. So someone getting 27 carries, against the Jets, hopefully he could produce. So, yeah, I have. Did I even answer it? I have him as a hold. I have him as a hold, and if you can sneakily get him to be included like in a package, like he's not someone I'm like targeting, but he's like a piece to like even something out. I wouldn't mind like taking him in return, just to have there as a depth piece, RB2 type guy.
All right, so we got some guys over here that are high movers, especially recently, like T. Higgins. What are you thinking on him? You want to buy him? You a buyer, or you holding?
Wide receivers, huh? Wide receiver buy, so hold Ty Higgins or T. Higgins. I'm buying, man. I like what I saw last week. His usage there. I don't like the hamstring injury that he's kind of dealing with after being sidelined with the ribs. Hopefully it's just something minor and not really going to linger. It's been like the year of the hamstring for wide receivers, it seems like. Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, like they're dropping everyone. But if you can get him for a low price, he's definitely someone I'd be interested in. I'm not shying away from it. Joe Burrow's obviously looking a lot better, a lot healthier, and especially with this Chase injury, Higgins could really pop off here in the next couple weeks and get you back into playoff contention and roll right into the playoffs. And yeah, so I definitely have him as a buy and for sure hold if I already have him.
Nice. How about another big mover? Devontae Adams. He's like literally the number one guy traded recently. We were talking a lot about him on the show. So you buying or you selling?
Yeah, as a Devontae owner, man, on the teams I have him, just because I'm probably not going to get fair value, and you know how I am. Like I'm going down with the ship kind of guy. I'll probably hold on to him and figure it out. See if they're able to turn it around. And as someone who doesn't have Devontae Adams, I'd be looking to buy him. Obviously, he's someone who could be shopped. At the moment, just depends on the owner who has him. In the league, if you can get a good price for him, like we saw earlier, someone's getting Adam and Puka and Adams, Puka, and somebody else like for barely nothing.
Yeah.
Then I would definitely entertain a trade like
Entertain
that.
offers. Entertain offers.
Absolutely.
Right?
So yeah. So
How about a tough
um
guy like he hasn't been doing much lately? Chris Olave.
Chris Olave. I have him as a buy. Like I said, I like his schedule. Again, playing in a dome basically from now until week 17. I will be playing at Tampa Bay. Derek Carr plays, a lot better in those controlled environments. If you look at his splits between, indoor and outdoor games, it's pretty significant. He has that chemistry. We talked about, he's a couple catches away from, having several bigger games. He just kind of had a case of the yips, it seems like, every once in a while. But I think that chemistry is still building there with Olave. We know the talent's there. And I think they end up figuring it out and making something happen. We see kind of Mike Thomas. I don't want to say kind of fading away. He's kind of just been doing his thing, but he's definitely not like the alpha there. I still think it's Olave's wide receiver room to take over whenever he's ready to take it. So yeah, he's someone I'm willing to target if I can get, buy him low.
How about Puka then?
Puka, man, I can't even like answer this question, man. Like I love Puka because of what he's done. Kept me in contention with my team, saved me on so many teams. I was able to trade him back in the first week that Justin Jefferson got hurt. I was able to trade him straight up for Jefferson before Cooper Kupp returned. I think it was, or just like when he just returned, and had that good game. So I was able to kind of sell Puka at his high before Stafford got hurt, and hopefully that'll come back and pay me off there. But again, I got him off the waiver wire, so I kind of have him as a hold right now. I got to see what happens when Stafford gets back. Not as worried if Stafford does leave again now that they have Wentz. Maybe he could at least be better than what Rippon was there. I did start Cooper Kupp over Nakua this last week, and I happened to make the right choice there. Although Kupp only got me like 4 points anyway. So we'll see. I'd rather hold him here through his bye. But again, if you can get a good deal for someone who believes in him, kind of like I do, then I wouldn't be opposed to selling him. And if I can go out and buy him for the cheap, then I would definitely go get him as well. Noah Brown. Who else would I kind of trade for him? Obviously, Hollywood Brown I would trade for him.
Somewhere around that
Maybe
area.
Nico Collins. Yeah, like Godwin I would trade for him. I would trade Deontay Johnson for him. I might be selling high on Johnson, coming off his touchdown.
Yeah.
If you could trade Tyler Lockett for Nakua, I would. I would even maybe take a chance on like Jerry Jeudy for Nakua. So
Perfect.
yeah, I would try some of those things.
All right. Last guy here, wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. I just received him in a trade. So I guess I have him as a buy.
You're buying.
Yeah. So I'll buy D Hop. I've been on the D Hop train since the beginning. I have him on several teams this year. The value was just too good for what people were thinking. I had him in half the leagues that I had him in his 4-3 touchdown game. I had him in several leagues in. I almost had a necessity, and then a couple leagues where I did have other options. I did kind of sit him, so I had those points kind of go to waste. But I like his connection that he has with Levis here. I think he hasn't necessarily lost the steps, still has hands, knows the league, and just can run great routes. And could have had even bigger day. I think he missed him on a couple passes too.
Yeah.
Levis did this last week. So yeah, I'll take him. And again, they play Houston twice in the playoffs.
Twice in the playoffs.
So that's going to be a nice little shootout
15
there.
and 17, and then Seattle punched in there on week 16. Nice little schedule at the end there.
For sure.
So we'll move on to tight ends.
Hey, tight ends.
This is just waiver wire guys. Everybody's just kind of like, let's see who you can get. I don't think you're trading too much on tight ends. Other than the one guy,
Yeah,
like
I
you
just stream
mentioned,
tight ends. Yeah, they don't.
there
They're
was
just
one
kind of
guy that did
throw in
mention had
pieces.
like the 3 tight ends or 4 tight ends, and I was able to trade Kittle and
Right.
get himself some nice pieces. That's how you
Yeah,
do
if
it.
you
If
could do
you are
something like
hoarding
that.
those kind of
Yeah.
guys like that, that's kind of you had a good hoard of stash of these, and you did the right thing by trading them away. You don't need all of them. You just
Yeah,
need to hold them long enough that somebody needed them to get you a piece, and you did the right
exactly.
thing on that. So,
And you're always
with
trying to
that being
buy
said,
like Travis Kelsey coming off a bad game. Go try to buy him. Send offers out in your league. Again, if that guy has Kelsey, he probably took him in the first. He's probably not worried, like we all are. But if someone might be panicking, maybe they're in a bad situation because he hasn't had like the greatest of years so far. But he's still that dude. So if you can get him fairly cheap or at a reasonable price, then go get Kelsey and go get Andrews, like we always say every week.
so JAC's some stuff, but George Play. We're gonna go back to the chat real quick. Let's throw the banner back up for some more live Q
I
and
got
A
you.
real quick before we go. We're already at the 2 hour mark, and I'm tired.
Yeah, you and me
I
both,
gotta
man.
get to work. So we'll answer a couple more questions here when we close out the show. And I think he had Purdy or Watson, and I'm gonna go with Watson.
This week,
Back, yeah,
I'll go Purdy. I got to see a little more out of Watson still, man.
yeah. I'm not comfortable with him either, but I think he's just a better player than Watson's a better player than Purdy, so I have to go with the talent on that part.
Purdy's getting Debo back this week. He has all
Yeah.
his weapons back. He should be back in that 2 touchdown realm. At least I want it. I want to see it.
Do you think Fournette will play this week?
Maybe depends on what kind of shape he was in. Haven't really been following it too much. I did pick him up on several teams. I was able to get him when I got the news about him signing. Sleeper hadn't updated his status and put him on the Bills yet, so he was technically a free agent. I was able to pick him up, I think, on Monday before they actually assigned him to the team.
Changed it. Yeah.
So I was able to a couple. Sometimes I go into even though I shouldn't, I go into the week with just an empty roster spot just because it's not worth like picking things up. And I kind of have PTSD because in one of Frank and I's home leagues, he has a limit on how many moves you can make. So I've kind of groomed myself over the years not to just make unnecessary moves. So
And it helps you,
sometimes,
but see
yeah.
how
So that's what I mean. So yeah. So in this case,
there's
it
no
kind of
reason
worked
to be.
out. Yeah, because I had that empty spot, and I was like, none of these guys are even worth anything. I'm just going to drop them later. And I got 16 leagues. It's not worth even worrying about, like trying to even wrap that my head around another person. And I was able to pick him up in several spots, having that situation go on. I don't know if he plays this week. Even if he is active, like I want to see the usage first before I'm comfortable throwing him in a lineup. So I think we have another week or so to play with that before we have to worry about it. But
We
yeah,
got JC was mentioning that before I mentioned y'all, I told him I'd give him Tank because he was going to drop him, but then told him to give me until noon tomorrow to see if I could move him as he was cool with it. So he is trying to get move on this guy before he has to drop him, which is a good idea, and he's actually letting me
nice.
buy some time for that. Which is the other guy said he'd do Tank and Murray for DK. Should I do it? Considering I would be cool with dropping either.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's
Yeah,
exactly what we were talking about.
yeah,
Like at least get a piece, and it's like a namesake. Like he's not doing great, but he's not doing like terrible. Like his bad game was one catch for 50 yards. It still was a 50-yarder, but you'd like to see more. Um, a little banged up, but yeah, I'll take DK for Tank and Murray just to open up that roster spot to
he
get
said
the
he
other
would
trade
also do
done.
that trade for
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Ooh, I would think I would take Garrett Wilson over DK though. Because
Over
even
DK
with
Metcalf, really?
Wilson, yeah, because he's the only guy there, dude. Like Gino will throw, and Gino's a little better. Like he'll throw to JSN, he'll throw to Tyler Lockett, he'll throw to Noah Fant every once in a
Yeah,
while. You know what I mean? Like he'll spread the ball out a little
yeah,
more.
yeah,
That's the problem. Is like all those Seattle wide receivers are all getting like 6 to 7 targets each.
yeah.
Like no one's getting
It's
10 or 12.
nobody's eating.
Yeah,
Nobody's eating. Yeah,
exactly. They're all just just depends on how efficient they're going to be. But yeah, Garrett Wilson, even with the terrible play, and all that, like dude, still just double digits every week. Like we were hard selling him
almost
early,
agreeing. He's
but
like, yeah, do
yeah,
it, but no DK.
yeah. See, so yeah,
Get
I
some
would do
Garrett
Wilson
Wilson.
over DK.
Get some Wilson.
I would take that
So we
chance,
got Luis
especially
Vegas
for
here.
people you're willing to drop. So yeah,
Yeah,
what's up,
especially if
Luis?
you want. So you got, am I winning this league? I'm 7-2. I got CJ Stroud, and Murray, so he picked up Kyler Murray. Jay Jettis, who's injured, coming back hopefully here soon. Keenan Allen, Diggs, Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, Pacheco, and Logan Thomas. Need some help in tight end. Need some help in tight end.
Yeah, a little help at tight end. And obviously you need to get Jettas back here. But that's a nasty wide receiver room. You kind of have a hero RB build there with Josh Jacobs, who's coming around. Who I was just saying I have as a potential buy there because of the workload he can get. And then Pacheco's been great. Kyron Williams is coming back, and he's been pretty efficient there. And Logan Thomas, he's not that bad for a streaming tight end. And I would say that's really your only kind of weakness, if you want to kind of call it that. But Jay Jettas makes up for those type of weaknesses. So yeah, at least him with Kirk Cousins. Hopefully him with Dobbs. We don't.
I would
see
just
too much
see if
of a
you could
slide.
stream somebody better. You had some opportunities to pick somebody up. Like
Yeah,
Taysom
the
and other
Fergusons
guys
and
right now,
Schultz
Ferguson,
and guys
Schultz
like
that were
that.
out there that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. That hey, they're out here now. They're hard to get.
Right. Exactly.
And he did mention, hey, I don't mind trading Dell because I think he's hard to predict. He'll be high scoring week by week, him or
Wide
Nico or
receiver.
Robert.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get it. It's kind of rotation over there.
Yeah, throw
But
Noah Brown in there actually now instead of Robert Woods, and let
right,
alone
say
when
it,
Woods
exactly.
comes back. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah,
I think Dell's this guy though. They went to college together. Like it's not bad. Like, but again, you're getting Garrett Wilson. So, and
yeah.
who knows?
You go get
Rodgers
Garrett
may
Wilson.
come
We'll be doing
back
all right.
before there. So I don't know. We don't know. All right. So
If
anyway, we'll
Rodgers
move
comes
on here.
back, then you're really coming up at that point.
He ain't
But he
coming
just
back
threw
for
a
the
50
fantasy
yarder. He
playoffs.
just threw a 50-yarder the other day.
Yeah, but he ain't moving around. Remember,
What
he
else,
tore his
Tyson?
ACL when his ACL was good. It could happen on the second play of him coming back again. So, not that I'm wishing that or anything. Tycoon, what up, Tycoon? Says always at the end, but we here. We appreciate it, man. Love it, love it. Glad you're here. Always a great addition here. Let's see. We got any other questions?
Williams is back. No, they were just talking about Purdy and Purdy coming back. Hopefully Williams is back to protect them and everything's all like that.
Okay. Yeah, Trent's not back at practice. Yeah, he got a DNP.
Let's call it.
Oh yeah, see, he's not going to talk about Niners. He's not giving up sleep for Niner talk.
Yeah, I'm too tired.
It's like you guys could take that offline if you want. All right. Yeah. So there we go, man. So that's the end of the show. We appreciate it, man. That was great. No, I really appreciate it. Before we get out of here, of course, we got to let you guys know about our affiliate channels. There we go. Frank's on it. The Fantasy Frontline podcast, man. Make sure you guys go check them out. The Checkdown podcast with Cody McGoats, Shirtless Pat, Greg, and the fellows over there. We had Dim Boy citing the beginning of the show there with the Dead Zone Fantasy Show. Make sure you guys all go subscribe to them. You'll need to subscribe to them to be eligible for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And again, make sure you guys go check that out so you can win this awesome ring here. And we'll get that. Oh, yeah. So you're on it tonight, Frank. And we'll get that thing going, man. Make sure you guys go watch that video and then drop your comment there because we're going to do a comment picker. And Neanderthal, if you're watching this, man, I saw you put the comment. We might have to tell him. But he separated the GRFN and the 1,000. It has to be all one word. So I know he was having problems with
the other one.
Yeah, so he actually went and put the comment on there, but I saw it was wrong. So the comment picker's not going to pick his. Like he has zero chance to win like that. It has to be exact. So just to let you know. So there we go.
Not that we're excluding you, but you just got to be like follow the instructions.
He's our boy, man. He's from the home league. We've been playing with him for 20 years. I'll tell him to take a space out of his comment, man. We got to help the guy out. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Not that we're excluding him. That's the point.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, we got to help a brother out sometimes over here. Yeah. But yeah, so JAC, we'll take you one last question here. He says McBride or Njoku for the rest of the year. Give me Njoku.
Njoku.
Just a quick answer. We can go in more detail later. And then, of course, in true fashion, Ron says McBride by so much. So wouldn't want it any other way. So we appreciate it, guys.
Wayne.
What else you got?
I was just saying, he said, thank you guys. I said, hey, you're welcome.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can put those up. We're going to roll the outro now. We'll be back here. I will be back here on Friday. Unfortunately, my boy lost. Their playoff games, season's done, senior year, the last football he might play in his life. It was very emotional for all of us. The undefeated season came to an end with a overtime loss, 35-34 by 1 point. They went for 2 in overtime to get the win after they tied it up. And so that was tough for us there to have their first loss. But again, congratulations to the Rancho Mirage High boys over there. for doing their thing this year. It was an awesome season to watch. So other than that, man, we're out of here. For Classic Mike, for Dustin, for Frank, and myself, make sure you guys go check out that 1K sub video. We're out of here. We'll see you on Friday.